Yeah, welcome everybody into round 4 of the 2024 MotoOption Supercross Championship live here on Start Your Systems. I'm a little bit out of frame. Kellen Brower alongside Andrew Wood. Doc Smith is back in studio. 3 of us tonight. We're going to try to call the action. We're going to have a good time, and we're, going to hopefully have microphones and headsets and everything that works throughout the night. First of all, Andrew Wood, welcome back to the studio. Round 4 of the championship, first Triple Crown. I am so pumped.
Thank you. I'm stoked to do a race where we know everyone who's racing. We start off with LCQs, which is the best part of the night, and it's going to be a good night. 3 races with per class with the best guys in each class going at it. It's going to be fun.
Absolutely. Doc, welcome back to the studio as well. I know you're with us for round 2 in San Francisco, and you've been kind of keeping up with the series a little bit. So how fun is it that we're going to have a Triple Crown kind of throw a bit of a wrench in this series right now?
No, I think it's going to be great. I'm curious to see the consistency tonight. Other than that, I mean, it's just going to be great racing.
Absolutely. Looking forward to it. Let us know in the chat, by the way, how loud we are. If anybody's too quiet or anything like that, we got Doc kind of listening in right now, but I think we're going to switch that over in just a minute. And yeah, we'll go from there. Let's go ahead and jump over to our intermission screen here so you guys get a chance to look at qualifying times, because that is the story from moments ago. Remember, top 18 only this week, and then we'll have last chance qualifiers. Looks like we got to turn Doc up. Doc, just maybe pull that a little bit closer to your mouth.
Yeah, we can do that.
That'll be better. But yes, top 18 qualify in, and the other ones head to the last chance qualifier. Looks like after a refresh, Braden Carter fastest on a 58.046 by 1 second exactly over Alexis Leclerc on a 59.046. Leitzel, Burns, Vial inside the top 5. Our cutoff time appears to be Partolo on a 1 flat 0.2, but Andrew, exactly 1 second in it at the top. Carter just continues to do it.
Yeah, I mean, it's just crazy. You can have that kind of a gap between you and Leclerc, but I'm also looking for some of the other like contenders, and Eaglin's a little bit far back. Some of these guys are going to have some work to do. Some guys getting through the LCQ. It's a huge gap for the top 450 guys for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, we just made a quick switch, so hopefully Doc isn't hearing us in his headphones anymore and doesn't hear this double thing. But yeah, Doc, you kind of know Carter quite well. Is this just what we come to expect every week out of the defending champ? He's just going to keep putting it P1.
I mean, he's one of my friends. Of course, I want to see him do it, and as you can see, every weekend he's able to do it. So we'll see how long he can do it for if it comes to every round, but he's there right now.
All right, well, Carter P1 again in qualifying. Let's take a look at our 250 West standings. And Doc, we found out earlier today that Seth Shirley, who is perfect through 3 rounds so far, has a broken wrist or a broken, I think, lower arm area or something like that, basically wrist. And I don't know how much that's going to hamper him with playing tonight, but goes 5th fastest here tonight. Is the perfect season finally on the line?
Yeah, I mean it's gonna be pretty hard. He was saying earlier that his arm was really swollen up too, so maybe the more he plays, it's gonna get worse. But we'll have to see how it goes tonight for him.
All right, so tough go for Seth Shirley there, but A-Wood, Colin Allen fastest. We've seen Colin Allen run up front, but not too much this season. Cooper Hunt is another guy that can really kind of turn it around at any opportunity. And of course, we got the Triple Crown here tonight, so we can look at any one of these names as guys that could maybe win one of the races and put themselves in the seat to try to win tonight.
Yeah, it's all about the starts, and I feel like there's a lot of names up there. Allen Hunt, Shao, Sun, Stevenson, Tharp. They're all around Shirley, and he's looking to go perfect. He does just have to minimize the damage. But basically, I feel like it's all about the start tonight, and these guys, they're going to be mixed up. I think we're going to see some low scores between the 250 class, 3, 2, 1s, kind of looking around that as far as their overall, but Shirley's got some work to do with his fastest qualifying time being a little bit behind a bunch of other guys.
Yeah, I mean, times are tight at the top. We got 4/10 in it from 1st to 7th, and then you get into the 101s down here with Evan Holt, Daniel Olson, and on back. It appears Rodrigo Cepeda, which I'm assuming is Emmanuel Cepeda, since I don't think we've ever seen Rodrigo out there, is the guy that ended up P18 in qualifying. And that was only 1.4 seconds off of the top time. So you really had to put a good one in on this 250F here tonight to get in. We'll get into LCQs in just a minute. Real quick before we do that, we want to look at our current point standings. 250 West, of course, Seth Shirley, perfect through the first 3 rounds. 27-point lead. So now if it is damage control, Andrew, where he's got to try to manage this thing and he's dealing with this broken wrist, so maybe can't hold the controller for the entire race, at least he's got a big cushion to deal with.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's happy with the top 5 tonight, and he's the guy that can go 1:15.3 and still kind of be up there. These other guys are going to have to put in some very great rides, and 3 consistent races. That's as much as they've done like all season. So we'll see if Stevenson, Tharp, Pinkerton, any of those guys. Pinkerton's got to go to the LCQ if any of them can make it in.
All right, so we'll take a look at our 450 standings really fast here, just real quick. Braden Carter up 13 points on Colby Eaglin, Jeremy Seabolt 25 back. For you, Doc, we know Carter, once he gets a big lead established in the championship, that's when he maybe does his best work and he's most comfortable. Is this a big enough lead yet that Carter's feeling comfortable, or is it's still too close?
Man, it just takes a lot of pressure off of him being 13 up. And I mean, he's not really one to fold under pressure crazy, but I mean, when you don't have it there, it just makes everything easier for you.
Yeah, no question about it. Colby Eaglin is going to be a fierce competitor, but that points gap already big. Of course, Alexis Leclerc, our winner last week, finally got on the top step of the podium, but he missed the round in San Francisco, hence why he is 28 points down. We'll see if he can get another win here tonight at the Triple Crown in Anaheim and get back rolling once again. All right, let's go ahead and jump in the server and see how things are going. I think they're probably grabbing UIDs, or I was sitting here too long, so they disconnected me. But yeah, this is going to be a very interesting racetrack here tonight, guys. Out of the first corner, you got an on-off into an over-under. You got 2 whoop sections into kind of awkward 90s, which is also unique. And then also some fairly long rhythm sections going down kind of that back by the right field wall. We'll jump back overhead of the track right here and take a look. You got this rhythm section off here to the left that I think that's T-lane going through, and then a pretty long one to the right. Andrew, for you, which part of this track do you think stands out to you the most?
I'm thinking both sides right now, far left, far right, the 2 long rhythms, and then the whoops on the left. I feel like that's going to be some of the big decision makers today. We're just going to keep an eye on those. Both whoop sections back to back as you go under the tunnel. Everything from the finish line until the tunnel, I feel like it's not going to have too much crazy action, but in between, minus kind of the middle going back down the start straight, we're going to see some good action. And that's probably about 75% of the track. So
yeah,
I think we're going to see some good stuff here between these guys. And you really got to hit your marks, especially with the turning entrance to the rhythm section on the left side. That's going to be a big part. Yeah, well, Doc, you get a chance this weekend to obviously see this track in real life, which, by the way, folks watching at home, Doc Smith, be sure to head over to DocSmith464 on Instagram. Is how you can follow his progress as he challenges for the 250 West Series in AMA Monster Energy Supercross. But for you, when you look at this track and you kind of maybe look at the track map heading into this weekend, what kind of section maybe excites you the most?
I mean, I don't necessarily know if anything excites me necessarily, but it looks like it's going to be a fun weekend. It looks like there's going to be a lot of different rhythms you can hit and still be up there and not really be losing time necessarily. So, yeah, not necessarily anything exciting, but looks like it's going to be a fun track.
What is your opinion on a whoop set into a 90 and a whoop set out of a 90? Obviously, you guys like to swing a little bit wide, get a drive into them, so that leaves the door open in that second 90. But then coming into that first 90, kind of everyone probably tucks to the inside, right?
Yeah, everybody's most likely going to go inside after the first set. And honestly, I could see people going inside, hanging wide, and hooking inside again coming into that second set. I don't know, just with playing some myself, how that's going to actually form up tonight, but we'll have to see. I know at A1 we had the same thing, just back-to-back whoops, but it was you hit a 180 into the whoops and 180 again to the next set. So it's a lot easier to carry momentum in that 180 between the whoop sections than it is in 90s. So yeah, we'll have to see what people end up doing tonight.
No question about it. This is going to be a fun one. Well, starting off the evening for you guys here is, of course, the last chance qualifiers. It is going to be the 250 LCQ going first. Going to try to get all of that dialed in for you guys so you can see that coming up right now. Almost there. We'll find it. We'll get there when it's time. But yes, 250 last chance qualifier kicks it off. This is riders that qualified 19 to 40 in timed qualifying here moments ago. and we'll get a chance to see what is happening on the racetrack.
Does that far rhythm scare you, Doc? That turning entrance where you're kind of doubling in and stepping on while you're turning?
No, not really, because I mean, getting onto the table is not hard, and then it's gonna most likely have a pocket to be able to get on that second table. So yeah, it's not really scary. It's just a little, yeah, I guess it could be a little intimidating hitting that first like on to on, and before it gets that pocket to pop you to the next one.
I guess it depends how much that first hump is, if you have to roll it or if you can double step on and then you're stepping off, step on, off, triple, single. But I feel like those turning rhythms, I feel like normally are probably some of the things that like mess guys up.
Yeah, it can for sure. I'm curious to see this weekend. Like I looked at the track map pretty intensely earlier today, and curious to see if people are going to go double, single over table, and then 2-3 out. But we'll have to see. I mean, I think it's something you could do in this game and also IRL.
Yeah, definitely going to be exciting to see what happens this weekend. I'm also kind of keen to see what kind of big boy lines that these guys in MX Simulator might bust out. We already kind of maybe scoped out a triple quad over the table, quad into the corner, kind of on the left side of our screen here. I'd have to imagine that's at least an option for a handful of guys. And then also curious what they might end up doing in that back rhythm as well. Maybe something ridiculous like a triplet around the corner and then jumping both tables to that single quad. I don't know. These guys always figure out stupid stuff that I can't even fathom in my brain when I try to hit these lines. So, going to be exciting for that. Real quick, before we get underway tonight, shout out to Alligator JXG for resubbing. Appreciate the support. Anybody that continues to come back and hang out with us here on the broadcast, we love you for it no matter what, but the subs definitely help us. They go a long way in making it possible for us to keep the ball rolling here at Start Your Systems and covering the MotoOption Supercross Championship. All right, LCQ coming up. Do you guys like LCQs as the first race of the night? A little bit of drama right away.
It's the best thing ever.
Oh yeah, it's just get that intensity up really early.
Yeah.
It sucks that they don't do it in the night show at Triple Crowns. And I know you have to have time, but I feel like if they did it, maybe 20 minutes before opening ceremonies, I would go in from my truck or whatever in the parking lot 30, 45 minutes early just to watch it. But they seem to do it in like this weird middle ground where you can't actually watch it as a spectator.
Yeah.
Or else you have like 2 hours left over. So if they did like a real LCQ is maybe 30, 45 minutes before whatever main event, I feel like if they did it like that, you would get more people going in. We just saw a triple in quad over and quad right there from 250 guys.
Bust this. Goodness. Real quick in chat, just one more time again, if anybody is hearing microphone echo or if one of us is too loud or too quiet, let us know. We have the ability to turn it up and kind of change some things around. So trying to make it so that the audio sounds pretty seamless tonight, and be sure to let us know. All right, folks, here we go. Triple Crown is set and ready to go. The 250's got to have an LCQ before we go, and they are off and running in Anaheim as we got a couple guys getting swallowed up. One guy hitting an inside tough block, and the inside line pushing really far out. Up the inside goes Millie Soderblom. He gets the whole shot. He's got Dash McMillan alongside of him as they all go into the tunnel jump, and I can already tell, I feel like we're going to see some guys getting cross jump on that jump right out of the get-go.
Yeah, Soderblom with a big start, hugging the inside. He avoided all that stuff. The guys who went down,
the leaders get down.
They go down now. Pinkerton to the lead, and he sees himself as the main event guy, so he's really going to be pushing, try to stay up there, and kind of break away from this pack early on.
Interesting that Pinkerton goes inside out of the tunnel and kind of rolls into that section, Doc, and then starts jumping through the whoops. You don't see people jumping whoops in sim often, so kind of unique there.
Oh yeah, it's just the amount of time you had to get speed up before him is so little, so I can see these 250s are going to struggle through the whoops tonight.
Yep, no run up out of that 90-degree corner for sure. So Pinkerton leads early on. Jonathan Hernandez up in the 2 spot. Colton Heckman, a little short on the Supercross triple, is 3rd. Dash McMillan rounds out our transfer spot. These guys are going 5 minutes plus a lap to decide the final 4 spots into tonight's 3 main events of the Triple Crown. Ooh, McMillan into that tough block. He might get past right here. Here comes Race Cobble alongside. And that is a position change. Cobble with the crossover kind of scrub. And then McMillan dices into the corner to get it right back. Good action.
Personally, I'm not letting somebody pass me on the outside.
You
Yeah.
definitely
Just it's not happening. I'm going straight.
I mean, I like that move, kind of moving over on them right there. But Cobble, he's got some work to do, but he's there in the perfect spot. And these guys, Ryder came off the track, so he actually got stood off. McMillan blew that after the set of whoops. Cobble's now struggling through. He's actually going to go down, and he's off the bike now, and that's 4 spots, 5 spots, probably going to be about 7 or 8 spots right now. And Luke Fowser, and he is now the one pulled
fifth.
up into the 5th place spot. So he's chasing these guys down. They're going to go triple in, on, off for this 250 class, and then triple out. We do know that there is a quad possible from the 250 guys. Someone just practicing it, but not going to be as consistent as the race line that these guys are going to hit most of the time.
Yeah, I think it's just a power situation with the 250s of being able to still land on the backside of that table and have the speed going to get the quad all the way into the corner. But the 450s might be a little bit easier for them. Let's peek back out front. Ryan Pinkerton still working his way around halfway through this last chance qualifier with the race lead on the 68. You guys remember back to a week ago in San Diego, it was Pinkerton and Alec Horn who were really going at it for the win, and neither one of them ended up getting it. Of course, Shirley came from pretty far back, ended up passing into the lead with a few laps to go, but Pinkerton now finds himself in this LCQ, a small bobble there. Hopefully that doesn't kill his confidence too much, because we know Ryan Pinkerton is a guy who can battle for main event wins.
Yeah, I mean, the amount of time they have to qualify for the night show to make it into all this kind of stuff is not very much. So he may just had some issues getting ready for this track and getting used to it. So I don't think it's going to kill confidence. I think it's just learning the track still.
Yep.
Yeah, some guys, I feel like their schedule doesn't meet up, right? Everyone has about an hour to qualify for the track, but if you don't get in there right away, you know, it's all about how much you can prepare, and some guys just don't gel with the track right away. Pinkerton looks like he's flowing around this track, and just maybe he was in the qualifying session, he wasn't able to put a couple laps down, and you find yourself outside of the top 18, that puts you into the LCQ. But the way he's riding around now, at least breaking gap away from the rest of the class, looks like he's a little bit comfortable going inside and kind of jumping those whoops. I like that approach a little bit more. But he looks like he's on an easy way, and I wouldn't be surprised to see him inside the top 10 once we get to the main events.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll figure it out once the gate drops. Jonathan Hernandez still second. Looks like we got a change there. Fowser had gotten up to third, and he's going to fall back out of a transfer spot as McMillan goes back by. So Luke Fowser has got to get a move on here in these final minute plus a lap left on the clock. But Fowser, very fast amateur rider. We know that his career is coming soon on the pro level, but he's making it look like he's a pretty consistent veteran on the pro level here in MX Simulator, national number 71 this year. Let's see, does he get up to Dash McMillan with 2 to go here?
Yeah, his name, he's been around for a while, and it seems like we say his name so much, but it might be a little bit towards the back of the pack or more in these LCQs, but he's just knocking on the door here. These Triple Crowns, though, are super hard to qualify. As I was kind of making my exit from the racing scene, I found myself in a lot of these LCQ races, especially in the Triple Crowns, and some guys just aren't as good at qualifying for these Triple Crown races. So I think if he could just put in some consistent laps, he'll be right there in the main and feel comfortable, and you can beat some guys that qualified straight in.
McMillan down out of 4th, and that is going to give Fowser the position. Race Cobble is going with him. So this is now your battle for the final transfer spot, the 71 and the 60. I feel like Cobble wants to try to make a pass. He's down the inside, gets into him, pushes him out, and he ends up falling over himself. The 71 gets back on the track, and here comes Nick Niles trying to pull up alongside. Oh, and Fowser goes down, gets hit from behind. Niles gets 2 spots for the price of 1, and McMillan, who just crashed, gets back up still in this battle. It's anybody's race coming to the flag. We got 3 riders in it going for this final transfer spot as the white flag waves.
Yeah, that was just a little too aggressive too soon, and now he's just chasing right here. McMillan is kind of right where you want to be. Look at that Cobble under the back of him. Cobble goes down. McMillan goes off the track. He's back on just for the tunnel jump, and he's going to find himself safely back in. He's the final transfer position, correct?
He is in 5th.
He's one out, so chasing Nick Niles.
Man, these cuts could call it all tonight, right?
Oh, yeah, the cuts definitely could come into play with guys going in and out of the tough blocks, especially trying to cut down these 90s a little bit. It also sounds like in chat, a couple of people saying a road was turned off for this race by mistake, so I actually wasn't seeing too many ruts out there, and that looks to be why. Ryan Pinkerton takes the win in the 250 last chance qualifier. Nicholas Soderblom looks like he's got second locked up with Jonathan Hernandez third. And Niles hold on for a couple more corners. Get through this rhythm section clean. You can see McMillan is really pushing.
Oh, he's sending it.
Niles got that corner good. McMillan almost through the front door. Is he going to send it down the inside right here? He tries it. He hits him. And Niles just survives to go to the main event. Oh, man. He just barely missed really teeing him up in that corner as Fowler crosses ahead of Colton Heckman. But Doc left the door wide open to Nick Niles, and it just barely worked in his favor.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I don't think he did anything wrong in that situation. I think Dash was going to try to cut him off as hard as he could. So even if he went inside, Dash would have went outside and carried the momentum. So, yeah, it's just pick your poison, right?
Yeah, well, if you're Dash McMillan, like you said, Doc, it could come down to penalties, and he lost an opportunity to maybe go to the main event because he ended up going for that pass. Looks like he ended up crossing the line in ninth, so I think he even had a fall-off crash right there. It's like Maverick Snyder, Evan Vanderkoy, Arthur Miranda, Evan Cormack, Carl Novak, Ben Narana, Ryan Anderson, Seth Harnischbeger, Cash Woods, Joey Bradstreet, all missing out on the main event here tonight. But it is Pinkerton from Soderblom, Hernandez, and Niles going to the main event out of the 250 class. They will complete the last 4 riders of our 22-rider 3 main event format tonight for the 250 Triple Crown from Anaheim. All right, 450 LCQ coming up next. We're just going to keep the program rolling along. So far tonight, Doc, we've seen a little bit of what this track has to offer us as we get into the actual 3 main events. What are you seeing about this racetrack and sim that kind of gets you excited about what we're going to see tonight?
I'm seeing a lot of aggression. I'm seeing the way to pass people is you have to be very aggressive. So it's just to see who has the best racecraft to be aggressive but not put themselves down while they do that.
Absolutely, like we saw with a couple guys for sure.
Exactly. So I think it'll be a good racing tonight and a lot of aggressive passes.
Well, we love aggressive passes in sim for sure. At least on the broadcast. Maybe not the guys getting teed up, but we like it. A-Rob903, thank you so much for the Prime sub. Very, very much appreciate the support. And thanks for tuning in tonight to round 4 of MotoOption Supercross. A-Wood, 450 LCQ. Are we going to see the same chaos? Is it going to be run it back like we just saw in the 251?
I think so. I mean, there's some big names that are out of this because the 450 class is so stacked. There's past race winners, all these guys that have been around for years that are going to be in this. I didn't see D Davis in the top 18, so I would assume that he's going to be in this LCQ as well. But I like the long rhythm and a half that we basically have right before the finish line. And I like the fact that it's 2 180s back to back, that we can kind of almost 3, that we can see some guys kind of dice it up. And I hope we see some last lap action for sure, just how we did in 250 class.
Yeah, because like you said, with that long rhythm section, even a Supercross triple, it gives guys the opportunity to throw a Hail Mary scrub or really push through a rhythm section or whatever to tighten it up in those last few corners. Certainly makes for a very, very fun prospect to see what's going to happen in this 450 LCQ coming up right now. This is going to be the same format as our 250 LCQ. Top 4 riders to the main event, and this is a 5-minute plus 1 lap race. I think they ended up doing about 6 laps of that LCQ just now, so probably 6 laps again in this one. Doc, we saw in the 250 LCQ as well, inside line going to the first corner, pushed out, kind of caused a little bit of a pile up. I know that's kind of just the thing in sim, but what do you think about this track specifically, kind of as leaning into that?
We have a long start straight, pretty long start straight. So they're going to come in with a lot of aggression, going, "Oh my goodness, I'm about to get the whole shot," and then just forget to brake. We've seen it for a long time, and people just pushing all the way wide, just forgetting to brake. If you're maybe the next person or the person next to him, just brake a little earlier, and you can cut hard inside to be able to be up there. Because the next rhythm, especially on a 450, should be pretty easy because you're just step on, step off.
Yeah.
So, yeah, if you're in second right there, I mean, it'll be pretty easy to cut inside and still get on off and be right up there.
Yep, definitely, no question about it. A couple people asked in chat, why was the screen kind of flickering as the loading screen happens? Well, I have a reshade that I use that makes the in-game display a little bit brighter. For whatever reason, reshade just likes to kind of turn on and off as everything's loading. I think it's just trying to calibrate or something like that. So that's why it flashes right there. But it makes it so that the game once we get loaded into the server, things are a little bit brighter, a little bit crisper, things like that, so that you guys watching back at home have a quality stream that you guys can check out. That's why it does that. 450 LCQ time, folks. Strap in. 4 riders go to the main event. Everybody else heads home very early tonight. This is the earliest. If you make the night show, you will be packing your bags and heading to the stands to watch the main events. Normally, the 450 LCQ is about an hour into the program, but we're only about 15 minutes in. And this is going to be exciting. Some big names in this one. Devin Davis, Alec Heckman, Frank Jackson, Ethan Parks is in this one. Here we go, folks. 4 to the main. Let's find out who they are. 450 LCQ off and running in Anaheim.
Big jump from that Husky.
Yeah, outside, and he gets to the inside and shuts it down. Nick Tomasunis. Oh, man, what a great start for that. Yeah, the all black. A couple guys must have launched the gate because they're still sitting there stuck. But Tomasunis leads from Heckman, Caleb Hall, Connor Holiak in the mix. Frank Jackson just outside looking in with Chase Blakely. Neon green BPC Kawasaki for the 21 ride here tonight. Heckman's trying to go to the lead on Tomasunis to the outside and not quite able to get there just yet. Couple Michiganders battling it out here in Anaheim. Heckman down at a second and is going to lose a lot of positions. So it's now Tomasunis from Holiak, Hall, and Blakely in the top 4. And this is looking close. Frank Jackson thought about a move, backs out of the challenge. This is a lot tighter than the 251 was.
Yeah, we got about 1 through 10 in this one rhythm section right now. I think we're going to see a lot of good stuff from this 450 class, especially in this LCQ, but I'm really excited for the main events. These guys are so evenly matched, and this track isn't like crazy separating. I think we got some good stuff coming up here.
Yeah, I think we see a lot of maturity out of these guys, and that's why we're seeing them be so close. They're not trying to just kill each other on this first lap, knowing that if they go down, they're going to 15th place. So the maturity definitely is keeping everybody pretty close right now.
Yeah, you saw that with Frank Jackson even, that he didn't try to rush a pass when he maybe had an open door trying to get around Blakely. Like, let's see right here. Blakely goes long and goes down. Little OJ on that triple, and now Jackson moves into the final transfer spot. Seth Crotty goes down out of 5th. That allows a few more guys into the mix. Jeff Cooper goes by, and now Jackson, a mistake through the whoops. You're starting to see even these 450 guys, they go to that inside out of that 90 and just no drive going into the whoops.
Yeah, it's crazy watching these guys in that 90 into the whoops. They're kind of going far wide and kind of hugging.
Over table quad, nails it.
Ooh, big line there. Yeah, these guys they're coming in that second whoop section. I know it's short, but they're coming in leaned over and trying to straighten out. I feel like we're going to see a lot of jumping, but also a lot of guys kind of getting unsettled as they try to straighten their bike up as they kind of enter in those whoop sections.
Yeah, definitely trying to see where you can figure out a good spot to drive off of that outside line into the whoops and straighten it out too, because it's really hard to enter whoops when you're a little bit leaned over. Bike doesn't really react to it all that well. And these guys certainly... Whoa, look at that big line. Jeff Cooper just quadded into the corner. I don't know what he did before that. Someone else just almost looped their Larry in the background, but Cooper is all over right now. Frank Jackson in the battle for the final transfer spot. Caleb Hall is just up the road as well, and it is not over just yet, man. Frank Jackson is feeling the heat.
Man, in that second rhythm section, I'm seeing a lot of... oh, we had a big mistake out of somebody there.
Oh, that was... well, Jeff Cooper gets by Caleb Hall, who goes from... third out of a transfer spot. Now, then Hall ends up casing and going down. So who's that almost going through the front door coming into the corner? That's Blakely. Here's Devin Davis, who's moved up into the 5 spot. You got Blakely, Caleb Hall back here with Ethan Parks, Joseph Pilsner, Brandon Larson. I was trying to find Nico Marchini, who's top 10 in points. He looks like he's in about the 12-13 position right now. Not a good spot for him. And he's even got some other guys, Riley Hewen, Austin Bear, Seth Crotty, D Mills is back here. There's some big names that are probably not going to the main event in their current situations. Oh, Jeff Cooper went down and will give up a transfer spot to Davis. Blakely just hit him and went down on the same jump.
Same exact spot.
2 laps ago. Oh, he's kicking himself. But D Davis did go into a transfer spot now. He's 4th.
We're gonna see a lot of jumping through those tonight as the road breaks this track down for sure.
Yeah, I like that kind of inside line, though, if they can kind of go tap and then maybe triple throughout that whoop section. As we're on board with D Davis here, we're going to go triple over, on, off. So he's doing the basic line, but there are some different alternate lines to there that I'm sure we're going to see break out during the actual main events. But D Davis just trying to play it safe here. hit all the basic lines, and I do see Summer Road coming into play, so it's not that there's none, but maybe it's not crazy here.
Yeah, I think,
as these guys kind of go through around the track.
I think they turned it back on for this one, as far as I'm telling from people responding. But yeah, D. Davis now up into 4th. Connor Holiak in 3rd now, with Frank Jackson up to 2nd. Nicky T still leading this thing.
Still
Nick
ripping.
Thomasoon is just crushing it. He is on a Yamaha. No, it is a Husky. I apologize. It looks... yeah, it is a Husky. It's very tough to tell, but yeah, the shrouds kind of stood out for me there for a minute. But yeah, back on a Husky this week. Nicky T making it look a little easier than he has the last couple weeks out there trying to get it into this main event.
He's all about the all white and the all black gear. I guess it kind of fits for him, but it just kind of threw me off at first when I saw him. But all white bike, all black gear. He's looking fresh right now, and he's cruising his way. Just hit the white flag, so he's on his way to a main event. As long as he keeps riding how he's been doing, he'll be in points no matter what.
Yeah, he's making it look easy out front, and that's exactly what you want in an LCQ. Jackson 2nd, Holiak 3rd, Davis still 4th, Caleb Hall, Jeff Cooper trying to close this gap down late, but it might be a little bit too late at this point in time. They need a mistake out of Devin Davis, the KG veteran on the DX3 Kawasaki, trying to hold it on. A-Wood, we're familiar with D. Davis throughout the years. He knows how to put it in the main event, but he also might have to feel a little bit of pressure on this last lap.
Yeah, 100% he's under pressure right now. I mean, being on the final transfer bubble, you know that. Look at that inside line, triple, single, triple, all the way through. He knows where he's got to be, and he's going to be shaking. Heart rate's going to be high, but he's only got about a rhythm and a half till he gets there. So I think he's feeling pretty confident right now. But yeah, it's very nerve-wracking being on the bubble in LCQ for sure.
Question about it. Up to the leader, Thomas goes to the main event. He's going to bring Frank Jackson, Connor Holiak, and Devin Davis will indeed stamp his ticket to the main event. D. Davis over Caleb Hall, Jeff Cooper, Joseph Pilsner, Chase Blakely gonna miss out. Jared Gummison, nice kit, but not in the main event. Beelar is hopping over him. Are we gonna have a little bit of fun here between some buddies back here? They're trying to mess with each other. No, last
Why
corner.
not? Gotta take him out. Oh, he still beat Chase Beat. Come on.
Pachone misses out. Aaron Rockefeller, Riley Hewen, Ethan Parks, who was 7th at Anaheim 2 weeks ago. Misses the Triple Crown tonight. Johnny Padani with a new team. TSCZ Productions is going home early. Austin Bear, Seth Crotty, Daniel Mills, Alex Heckman, Nico Marchini, Alex Zellner, and Adam Holm out of this one. No Chris Post, which we were supposed to have Matt Rice from the Bin Raw in studio tonight. He was not able to make it, but he was only going to come because he wanted to see what Chris Post could do. Posty, Align Media Zone, not even in the Last Chance qualifier. You hate to see it.
That must be why. One of my idols when I started shooting photos.
Oh, maybe?
Yeah, he's so sick.
Yeah, he definitely puts on some
He's
pretty
got
sick stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's got some good stuff going. Has for a long time. Man, that's crazy. Some of those guys missing out, and I'm surprised that so many people have been finishing these races. Like, dude, if you're down with 1 lap to go, if you're in 10th, just leave.
I'm gone.
Yeah, there's so many people we click back through just still riding, and I'm like, there's no shot I'm still there. All the guys that disconnected, I feel you. I'm right there with you.
I mean, you paid your entry fee. You got to get all the laps in.
Nah.
Well, Doc, I mean, look
If
at Doc.
there's-
If you're in the LCQ this week, and let's say you're 13th on the last lap, you're pulling off.
Oh no, it's a little different
Yeah,
though.
see, come on.
If
I'm
you
paying
wad in the first
$2,
corner-
I'm paying 200.
If you wad in the first corner and you're down and you don't get your bike started, you get lapped by the time you get up. You're not
I'm pulling off.
Oh hell
Okay,
yeah,
so there you go.
you're done.
Yeah.
If you're
if I
half
get
a lap-
lapped,
if you're
on
half
the
a
first
lap
lap,
down-
there's no point in me staying out there. I'm just a hazard.
even half a lap down, just go back, go home.
Half a lap ain't.
Go in the stadium, buy a $16 beer.
Yeah, the thing is,
After
I have
dry
like,
January.
racing actually like IRL. I have sponsors that want me out there.
Yeah, see, there you
They
go.
pay for me to be on that track, even if I'm not winning.
Well, how do you know these guys maybe don't have a sponsor they want out there? You know, I know Carter likes to, throw his whip around there at Phil's and really lay down the hatches. If a guy like Nico Marchini pulls off the track halfway through this LCQ, he's probably off the team this week.
Yeah, there's a lot more RNG that goes in this game than IRL, though. There's a lot more crashes because of the game, not because of a mistake.
Yeah. All right, let's jump back into our intermission screen here and see what's going on. Kellen Brower, Andrew Wood, Doc Smith in the studio here tonight. Great to see you guys all tuning in here tonight as well. Have a question. Peakman 111 wants to know who is Doc? Doc Smith,
Just
out here racing 250 Supercross West and joining us in the booth from San Francisco. Back again this week, Smith's Pro Rodeo and what is it?
Z's Main Street.
Z's Main Street
Yep.
as well. Shout out to them for getting you out here for 250 Supercross West this year. We could do without the mud, but we're feeling a little bit better going into a dry Anaheim, right?
Oh yeah, I'm stoked. With all the rain we got here, I haven't got to really ride this week. I don't with some other bike stuff, not gonna get to ride tomorrow. But I'm still so stoked on coming into the weekend that it's not gonna be crazy muddy. I don't know what they've done with the track, if they tarped all the dirt before this weekend or what. Just because we got all this rain anyways.
Yeah.
But I think it's gonna be a great weekend.
Yeah. Yeah, hopefully a much drier track. Like you said, I think they probably did do something to tarp the dirt or something because I know they weren't even. I don't even think they started building the track till today.
Okay.
So yeah, I think
it's probably good.
they tried to lay it down and keep it easy. Just got a text from Logan Carnow. He says, "Doolies." So we got to get some on the stream tonight. We got to get guys throwing it down. Because he wants to see it, folks. We got to get people sideways on. Man, we only got one Supercross triple, right? But we do have a finish line jump. Not many dualies opportunities this week. We got to get people sideways.
We'll get something, maybe over the bridge. We'll get something
maybe over the bridge
for the whole night. Yeah.
First lap, just completely upside
Also,
down.
A2 track is gonna be so freaking good.
It is.
It's gonna be like 72, perfect. The thing about me is now when like the weather is perfect for Supercross, it's also perfect for golfing. So
hey guys, do we have the Design Lab Co. whole shot pick out of this 250 race? Anybody?
Porter, have
got
a gun
one?
to your head?
I'd like
Horn?
to see.
Can I interest you in Emmanuel Cepeda? How about Austin?
Click
Shea?
through.
Evan Holt.
I'm going with my buddy I trained with for a long time, Colin Allen.
Colin Allen, okay.
Yeah.
Fastest qualifier tonight.
Fastest
Doc Smith
qualifier.
got him for the Design Lab Co. whole shot. Haywood, what do we got?
Can I pick one from every main?
Yeah, pick a different one. Every
Pinkerton from the LCQ.
Pinkerton from the LCQ.
Far
Yeah,
wide.
more time on the track.
Trying to get the Design Lab Co. whole shot. I'm just going to go Seth Shirley because I think he's going to Hail Mary it with a broken wrist. But we are about to find out, folks, because it is time for the 250 main event number 1. 10 minutes plus a lap here in Anaheim 2 for the Triple Crown. Seth Shirley trying to keep it undefeated. Let's see who wins. Let's go.
I like that gate. That Cowie got the jump from the inside.
Outside, Alec Horn on the 27 swoops in. He almost got there, but it's going to be Braden Tharp picking up the Design Lab Co. whole shot. And he's got the tunnel jump clean. Clean air.
Someone
Someone
just
coming from
That was
outside.
Seth.
I think that was Seth. Seth Shirley moving into second place. As what did he miss the tunnel jump?
He
just pulled
skipped the
completely
whole
went
out?
around
tunnel and
it.
passed like 10 dudes.
Oh my gosh, and then quads up the inside. That is not going to sit well with some guys right there who are going to be unhappy with Seth Shirley making those passes. But Shirley following Tharp into this position as Tharp leads. Shirley second. Alec Horn, who led much of the race last week, is in third. And we got my daughter crawling in from under the desk. She wants to get on the mic. Holly, what do you want to say to the people out there tonight?
Say hello.
That's what I'm saying is these guys battle for the lead. You got Alex, Seth Shirley, and Braden Tharp bringing us down to complete lap number 1. And it is Tharp who is indeed still leading after one lap. But Seth Shirley starting to lose touch with them a little bit. And Alec Horn getting back up into the mix here in this battle for second place.
Yeah, I had to ride her down in fourth right before the finish line in that rhythm section. Gonna have to see what happens with Shirley. I feel like that might just be a penalty from the cuts. It looked like a pretty big cut, but it put him out in a great position here. So that's why I'm kind of curious because it seemed like he passed a lot of guys. But, I mean, Shirley up front early is kind of something you're going to be worried about when you're just maybe a second or two right behind the leader. But he's looking good so far and looking to put himself in a good position for the rest of the main event here.
Now, Doc, I didn't get clarification on this. Do you know if it is Shirley's left or right wrist that we're dealing with?
Oh, I do not remember.
Not going to ask you to
I
clarify.
think when he snapped me, it showed his left.
Okay.
But I could be completely wrong on that.
All right. Okay, left is what we got in chat. So Yeah, that might be a little bit tougher as well because that's the one you're going to be moving the most with the joysticks. I believe he's one stick only, but either way, we'll see how he handles the pain and the pressure that Alec Horn is putting on him in this battle for seconds. Oh, little mistake right there. Rear end caught a rut, and Horn, sensing the opportunity, is closed right back up on him. It seems like it's a bit of a yo-yo early in this one.
Yeah, these guys in the top three, they're pretty close here. Leader's got a little bit of a gap, but Shirley's just trying to hang on. Look at that dive up the inside. That's not going to get anything done, but fourth, fifth, they're a little bit ways back, so it's going to be this 2-3 battle that we're going to be focused on for a little bit here. Shirley trying to keep it clean. Not a good drive through the whoop section, and he's got some company right on his tail right here.
Yeah, Alec Horn on the 27 means business. Milski and snowboard action getting into this battle between he and Seth Shirley. Both of them going triple on off, triple into the corner. It's still Tharp leading as our front three have kind of pulled away from the rest of the pack. I see a Yamaha going by in fourth. Colin Allen, our fastest qualifier, down in 19th place right now. So a rough break for the 20 machine, who just cannot seem to buy a break yet this year. Mistake from Shirley. Here comes Horn pulling up alongside, and he gets into Shirley, who somehow saved that. Hit his head on the single, I think, and then scrubbed his way off the track. Remains in third, but Doc, I think Alec Horn was ready to make that pass anyway.
Yeah, he was. You could tell he was starting to get a little impatient. I know it's pretty early in this race. I don't know what the impatience was for, but I mean, he is running some pretty quick times right now. It looks like so we'll just have to see if he can keep his head on straight.
Yeah, I think Horn has a little bit more pace here, and he looks like he's charging up to the front. Maybe it's just a more aggressive riding style, but he looks like he's trying to make his way. Shirley seemed to be holding him up just a little bit, so we'll see if he can kind of make a charge, close up this gap to the lead here as we get through these next couple laps.
Yeah, well, remember Horn last week in San Diego almost won that main event after leading for a lot of it. Oh, front end tuck. Does he still get the finish line jump? No, backs out of it. So Shirley doubles back into second place. And just as he started putting a charge on the lead for Braden Tharp out there, another mistake, and Alec Horn slips a little bit back. So it's Heilman right now in fourth, and Tyler Shoei in the top five. Spencer Turley team really found a diamond in the rough here with Tyler Shoei. He is making a real name for himself early in this season, was even battling for the lead at one point last week. Now finds himself in fifth, and that's a really sketchy way to go across the tables, but setting himself up well. Because remember, Doc, even a good fifth or fourth place finish in this first main sets you up for an opportunity to win here tonight.
Oh yeah, with the three moto format, if you're in the top 6 to 8, you can probably still make something happen, get on the podium for the night.
So Shoei's going to try to get up and battle with Heilman, who Heilman has his own issues up ahead as he tries to close that gap down on Alec Horn. Still seems like a pretty even gap between our three leaders. Back to Cooper Hunt, second fastest qualifier, finding himself in the 6th spot on the 13 Twizy KD Kawasaki. Ryan Pinkerton has moved up to 7th out of the LCQ, but he's in a heated battle with Ben Kafa. Doolies! Oh, and then they kind of do a bit of cat and mouse into the corner right there as Kafa goes around the outside. Doc Smith, these guys are all about passing around the outside tonight.
Oh yeah, they're just trying to send it in and make the other person check up. And so normally you see that on the inside, but I guess people are being pretty nice tonight.
I know you said earlier you wouldn't let someone pass you on the outside.
Yeah.
But if you get passed on the outside, how irritating is that?
Man, it's just it infuriates you, honestly. It makes you want to go into the next corner and take him out, right?
Yeah. Well, Pinkerton just laid it down after getting passed around the outside. Schaefer and Evan Holt make their way through. Holtzy on the 18 machine really trying to rebound from a rough couple weeks after almost winning the opening round. Looks like Cooper Hunt just picked it up from a crash as Ben Kafa went by. So Heilman has lost a spot. Tyler Shoei did move into 4th place. Let's peek back out front because it's still Horn, Shirley chasing Braden Tharp, and it just seems to be this consistent 2-second gap. I think this is maybe what Tharp is trying to do at this point, not really lay anything down too hot, but keep this gap consistent and try to hold this thing on for the win.
Yeah, it looks like he's just trying to hit his lines, and he's doing a great job of it so far. So as long as he can continue to do what he's doing now, just keep a little bit of a gap, or honestly just keep hitting his lines, people are going to make mistakes, and we'll just continue to go his way.
Yeah, he looks really comfortable on the track here, and last week he looked really good through his heat race and even into the main event. I really like what he's doing and just getting out front early. If he can continue to get good starts and get seated in there, get the right gate he wants, I think he's going to be a real problem here tonight, especially for Shirley, who's trying to go perfect through the season after 3 rounds.
Yeah, and Tharp is no stranger to running out front in Triple Crowns. If I remember back to last year, I think he'd even won the first 2 main events of a Triple Crown last year and then had a rough third one, did not get the win that night, but definitely knows how to get it done, knows how to win races and win these Triple Crown main events. Shirley is trying to keep him honest in second, but it's just a little bit too far at the moment. Oh, that's a mistake onto the table. Here comes Alec Horn. Let's see if Shirley triples to the inside to hold the position. He's going to case it. Keep Horn honest, and now the battle for second is really on as Horn bounces through the whoops. Shirley cuts the line off. Horn to the outside. Shirley, I think, is just going to let him go. I don't know. They're still side by side, and Horn makes a mistake, and Shirley retains the position.
Yeah, Horn had the blitz there. He really wasn't ready for it. Most of these guys are going inside single, triple, triple. So I feel like if you're going to get pushed outside, it's kind of a wake-up call about how to hit that rhythm section. Let's see what happens here. They're both doing the same rhythm, but he had to go outside as well. So Shirley's going to pull a little bit away from him. They're going to come across about a quarter second away from each other over the finish line. But man, this battle is going to reignite, I think, with the speed that Horn has.
Yeah, this is going to be a good one in this battle for second place in 250 main event 1 of the Triple Crown from Anaheim 2 here in MX Simulator. Yeah, Horn just missed that rut in the background, maybe pushing a little bit too hard, sensing an opportunity, Doc.
Oh yeah.
All right, so we have got 1 minute and 20 seconds left to go in 250 main event number 1. Shirley is back on it and on the charge, trying to close this gap down. Tharp is now into lap traffic. We knew we were going to hit it at some point, and we're maybe going to start hitting it at the worst time of this race, trying to see where our dots are. We've got about 5 dots in a row going the other lane right now to Tharp, so he'll probably hit them with these last 2 laps of the race at some point. 102.9 versus a 103.9. Shirley just made a mistake, but it's not going to cost him a position as Horn ends up making the exact same mistake. So now Tharp has to try to put it down for 2 more laps to win 250 main event number 1. We're starting to see those ruts come into play as well. What do you guys think? Are the lappers going to affect this at all?
I don't think it will. I think normally we'll see some pretty gnarly stuff out of Shirley, but we're not seeing any of that tonight. I think he's just trying to be consistent and wait for Braden Tharp to make a mistake, but he's been pretty consistent about it, and we're seeing that these lappers aren't being too much of an issue for him so far, but we have 2 laps to go, and a lot can happen in that.
Yeah, I think Seth knows that if he wants to keep his perfect season alive, he does not have to go 1-1-1 throughout these Triple Crown main events, and he can just cruise along in second right here, and that's just as good. This top 3 or 4 has kind of separated themselves from the rest of the field, so if he's cruising along in second place, you can wait for a mistake from Tharp, but if you go out there, you go 2-2-2, anything like that, you're probably going to get the win no matter what. So he's probably just banking on consistency. Right now you have 6 seconds from first to second, and another 10 seconds from second to third. So Shirley's going to kind of cruise around right there in second and let Tharp get this early win. And I think we'll see a lot more action throughout the second and third main event here for the 250 class.
Do we still call it a complete perfect season even if he cannot win the individual main events of the Triple Crown? Okay, Awood is on board with the perfect season still being alive.
You don't need to win the gangbangs, just need to win the overall.
All right, well, Tharp is going to try to hold on for 1 more lap, hopping through the whoops, little front end tuck right there. Looks like he's going to bring this thing to the flag, and wire-to-wire victory is exactly the way you want to start it out here tonight, Doc.
Oh yeah, for sure. I don't know if I agree with the perfect season on even if you don't win the motor.
What? You want him to win all 3 of these?
Well, okay. Would you say it's a perfect season in outdoors if you went 1-2 every moto and won every one of them?
Yeah, but I hate the Triple Crowns.
I understand that, but it's the same thing as outdoors. You just have an extra moto there too.
All right. I was going to say, Braden Tharp takes the win in 250 main event number 1. Seth Shirley crosses the line second. We'll see how he rebounds. Ooh, Heilman got all the way up to third, so Alec Horn kind of fell apart a little bit.
Down.
Ben Kafa is now in 4th. Emmett Sun 5th. Tyler Shoei back to 6th, and Horn all the way back to 7th.
My goodness.
Any chaos on this final turn? Shoei, a little deep, not close enough.
He must have fell twice.
Horn not going to get there either. Cooper Hunt ends up 8th. Daniel Olson 9th. Maybe? Let's see. Millie Soderblom is close. Is there going to be any last
Someone dive up the inside.
No last-ditch efforts at all. Evan Holt crosses the line in 11th. Austin Schaefer will be 12th. Colin Allen, fastest qualifier, 13th in 250
tough.
main number 1. That is a really tough situation there for Allen. Pinkerton out of the LCQ gets 14th. Stevenson rounds out our top 15. Cepeda ends up 17th or 16th, I should say. Jonathan Hernandez will end up in the 17th position. Arico 18th. Hayden Speck disconnected. Lucas Brune, Nick Niles, and Tucker Zimmerman were our finishers out of this one. Couple changes of position by the looks of it back
Can we
here.
check Shirley's? 1W gets 4.55 seconds.
Yeah, I can't.
But I don't even know if that's
that?
from the beginning. Can you see that? The first red line?
Oh, yeah,
4.55.
4.55, yeah, that's.
But he went from 5 seconds back to 9 and didn't lose a spot. So anything inside the top 5, 10?
It's like Shoei got.
Honestly, I believe it was all in that first corner.
Yeah, probably. Shoei got 5th on Emmett's Sun, so Sun got some penalties. There was 1 second between them at the flag. Shoei ends up getting it. And yeah, big winner, Braden Tharp, 250, main event number 1. Hope you guys are keeping track of this at home because I don't have a clue what the results
We don't
are
have
gonna
the
be here
squad
today.
tracking our Triple
we
Crown
do
either
not
and
have
giving
the
us live
squad.
updates. So
No squad in the background tonight working on our updates. Although, I think Zach is in.
Zach's not.
Discord.
Message him.
Don't talk or anything, guys.
I'll give him $5. So someone said in chat that it shouldn't count as a non-perfect season because you don't get individual points per moto for these, which I kind of agree about. Like the perfect season in the outdoors, you get championship points per moto. But also, I feel like someone said Seth got hit, but I would really have to see that depending on where he got hit because he cut a bunch of people off. And I don't know if he should be penalized
In
for
the
his
first corner?
individual. Yeah, before
Yeah.
the tunnel.
Yeah, before the tunnel, I could see both sides. I can see how people could be upset about him going off the track there, but if he re-entered, he is hitting somebody in the air.
Yeah, if you
On
got
the
hit
face of the-
on the
face of the
step
table.
off,
Yeah,
just
there's
go
no-
around. But maybe
Yeah.
he slowed. I don't know. We didn't see it good enough.
Yeah, it's just, yeah.
If I saw it good and it was like he must have like gotten hit off in a bad spot, had to ride around. Clearly, I just feel like maybe slow down like a second, but
Somebody will save the demo and send it in to somewhere. So
yeah, look to be about 8 to 10 spots on just the tabletop. So perfect season still intact, says chat. Let's see, Spencer Turley does not
Make a
count.
poll.
We didn't see it.
Yeah, we did not see it, but look, I mean, again, yeah, maybe you guys are correct. Either way, went around the tunnel, gained some positions. It happens. Cody Dar is famous for it. 2011, going around tunnels and gaining positions. All right, 450 main event. Hey, do you guys have the Design Lab Co. whole shot pick by chance? Castellaneta,
you know
Rogers,
I do.
Allenbeck, Eaglin, Seabolt, Poliak, Leclerc,
I have to go with
Lightson.
Hubbard.
What
Well,
the
Doc
fuck?
Smith is picking Hubbard.
That's my pick.
Well,
Claire, Jeremy Smith,
my teammate.
Luke Sullivan, Frizaka, Carter, Vial. Well, we got Doc
Not-
Smith
not
and
him.
Hubbard. Anything
I had
else?
Hubbard because he was my last. He was
You
gonna be
know-
my pick throughout the whole season until I
Here,
got one. No,
you
no,
go with Hubbard, I'll go-
no. You have him. I got a better pick.
Who?
Leclerc.
I want to see.
I'm going Trevor Burns.
Tanner Rogers is in tonight, correct?
Tanner Rogers is in.
Yeah, I want to see Tanner get a start. He switched over to what Hubbard's doing, start technique-wise, so I'd love to see him actually put it to use.
Okay, I'm going
All right.
Hubbard then.
There you go.
78 until he gets a whole shot.
So I've got I forget who I picked already. Trevor Burns. You've got Hubbard and what was it again?
Tanner Rogers.
Tanner Rogers. Okay. So we've got the Design Lab Co. whole shot picks. Head over
You
to
picked-
thedesignlabco.com. Check out what they've got for graphics. Nick Porter, former pro racer in MX Simulator, handling the business over there. All right, folks.
Carter on the
It
floor.
is time. Carter and Leclerc down the inside. 450 main event number 1. 12 minutes plus a lap. Catch the fever, folks. It's the Triple Crown in Anaheim.
Hubbard hit the gate.
55, that's Rogers from the outside with a great start. He's got to the corner first, and everybody else slid out. I think Carter, Leclerc, I think maybe got the design lab. Oh, shit. Rogers into the lead. Oh, and Carter down in the background. I think Vial maybe hit him and then swapped out. It's Rogers and Leclerc, 1-2, and Leclerc's quadding into the lead. The 7 is out front.
That was unreal.
Out front early is crazy.
Leclerc with the great start right there, hugged the inside, hit the big line early and got himself out front. Now he's getting a little bit unsettled, didn't get the triple out, but he holds up everyone behind him, and now he's going to be up front. Look at that great block pass. Trevor Burns, the whole shot hero that Kellen picked that didn't work out, but he's now in second place. Let's see if he hits any big lines. Triple, quad over, and quad out.
Leclerc,
that's what they're doing.
down with the
Leclerc is
lead.
dead.
And that is going to give the lead over to Trevor Burns, who just absolutely murdered Tanner Rogers for what was second place. Now he leads in Anaheim. Pablo Vial into the 2 spot with Verzaka third. Devin Davis out of the LCQ is fourth, with Carter, who was down in the second corner, rounding out the top 5. How the heck does he figure this out every week?
It's just, I don't even know. I can't even say it's luck anymore.
He's just so good. I can't believe you picked Burns for the whole shot, and then now he's here. He didn't get it, but now he's here. But he's fighting. Pablo Vial made the pass coming into the section. Vial rides the front wheel. He goes in the Davalos Bales. Someone else goes down. Now Burns falls. Now is that
Devin Davis is in second. Trevor Burns is back into the lead. Down the inside goes Carter into second place, and up the inside goes Vial into the 3 spot as Carter almost lays it down. Again. He's going backwards through our camera stand, and now he's going to lose 2 spots as he gets going in the 4th position. So Burnsy leads again, Vial second, D Davis third, and Carter 4th as we switch up lines. Some guys going over quad. Carter right on D Davis in a battle for 3rd place.
Vial just endoed into the Davalos Bales half a section before Doolies as Devin Davis and Carter go over the triple. We're throwing it back to back now. Look at D Davis cases it just a little bit. Carter gets squared up, but he rides out. Vial, though, after almost going down, still riding second. D Davis with a strong 3rd. Now these guys go into one of the biggest rhythm sections on the track. Let's see what happens here through the turning section.
Yeah, anybody going to go for the quad and try to make a pass? D Davis is not, and D Davis is. He popped it out. Thought he was going a little bit too long on the step off to get it. And Carter not able to get it, so Davis opens up a small gap. Meanwhile, out front, Trevor Burns leads. Pablo Vial is tightening that gap up. Burnsy just cut through the tough blocks, and Vial down the inside takes over the race lead. What kind of line was Trevor Burns going for there?
I don't know. I think he must have slid out or got a little bit too overseered right there. Vial goes over table, quad out, and he doesn't seem to gain much time there, but he's nicely into the corner there. Throws a big whip, and now he's secure with the race lead at the moment, but he does have someone right on his tail here. We'll see. They're super close. Trevor Burns trying to make something happen. We'll see. I feel like a lot of these guys can make something happen in this turning long rhythm section.
All right, let's see what happens in this battle for the lead as we approach the 4-minute mark. Almost a third of the way through this main event, 12 minutes plus a lap, and both of them able to uncork the quad. He almost went deep. He almost landed in the berm.
Deep. 3 Ds deep.
Oh, man, they both slide into that corner after the whoop section. Both of them going for the 3-3 option. Does Burns go to the inside? Nope. Follows in this time to the outside. I think that's Carter now in the 3 spot who's lurking in the background. Jackson and Leclerc now rounding out our top 5. Who goes for the quad here? Vial over clean. Not as clean for Burns. They still both cork it out and get it. Carter's casing the double in the background, or the triple. I don't know what it was. But yeah, Vial still leading. What a turnaround as well. Vial wins San Francisco. Looks nothing like himself last week in San Diego. And now he's leading here in Anaheim. I don't know what to take of the 30 here.
Yeah, he's an every other week guy, just like Anderson's an every other year guy. Vial looking good right here so far early on in this first main event. We'll see what happens, though. He does have some pressure here. These guys, I feel like it's all about timing. The big rhythm sections, they both go for the quad out. He goes long again, but still able to make the corner. And Trevor Burns squares it up a little bit too hard. He's going to lose a lot of spot, and that brings Carter right up on his tail.
Carter closed that gap down in a hurry, and the one machine blitzes the whoops and gets down the inside of Burnsy to make that pass. Burns back up the inside and lays into Carter. I don't know how the one doesn't go down. Carter looks pissed though. Look at this. Down the inside, thought about putting the 40 over the berm. Doesn't get there close enough, and Burns gets away scot-free.
Yeah, Trevor Burns all by himself now, though. A lot of action going on here, but they're not really battling each other as far as they're battling the track and themselves. Their little mistakes. They're all going for some bigger lines here. I feel like the rhythm sections might be a little bit too basic, but then there's some big lines, but they're not getting them. They're not very consistent, so we're going to have to see who's got the best of that. Some big road ruts coming out of some of these corners, too, that are messing these guys up. So Carter has a little bit of a chance to try to gain some time here. Let's see what happens coming into this corner.
Doc, he looks fired up to go after the 40
Oh my
here.
God.
I think Carter's a little bit riled up.
I think he's a little bit upset. I mean, there was some excess aggression, I feel like, in going into that corner that wasn't necessary. But, I mean, Trevor wants to be up there, and he's down.
Yep, Burnsy goes down out of the 2 spot.
And he's down.
Who's that? Frank
Is
Jackson
that your first
and Leclerc.
commentator's curse?
Yeah, it was.
Hell yeah.
I love it.
You know, sometime it's got to happen. It's going to happen in the first 450 main here. So we got Vial up 4 seconds ahead of Carter. Frank Jackson now in the third, and then Leclerc. Man, look at this shakeup that's happened. All these guys starting to drop back.
Just went down Rogers and moved up to 6th and
R.I.P.
cases and goes down. Jeremy Smith has now made his way into the 6th spot as he follows Burns and Leclerc. Leclerc still right up tucked behind Frank Jackson, and now Leclerc just made a bobble. Here comes Trevor Burns trying to get back into 4th on the 7.
Yeah, Leclerc got some company right behind him. Trevor Burns trying to push. He's been up front, and he knows he wants to be there. He wasn't running too far back behind the leaders, just made a couple mistakes. We see Leclerc going for the quad. Burns maybe kind of dialing it back a little bit, knowing he doesn't need to go to the big lines to stay there. I would only use those big lines really for a pass if I'm not completely comfortable
all
for them.
just went down in the whoops, and Leclerc gets hit by
down.
Burns.
And Burns stayed up.
Burns stayed up. Jeremy Smith is going to go by, as is, I think that was for Zaka, yes. But we have a change for the lead because Vial went down. The one machine of Braden Carter is out front in Anaheim halfway through this first main event of the Triple Crown. And now he is trying to set sail with that race lead. There is still chaos to be had behind that, but Burns picks it up, still ahead there of Jeremy Smith. And now Leclerc has to try to figure it out to get back into the mix from P7.
Yeah, it's a bummer seeing him go down right there. But, I mean, it happens. These guys are pushing so much. And there's such tight racing. But Braden Carter, I feel like Frank Jackson in second is like my biggest wow of this race so far. But he's been riding so great. And just kind of, we haven't really talked about him. But he's slowly moved his way up through all these guys making mistakes. He's just been consistent the whole time. If he can continue to do that and put himself in with a second after the first main, you know, I wouldn't be surprised to see him up on the podium or top 5 after we get through these 3 main events here for these guys.
As long as he can keep himself up, and with the lappers and everything coming around, I know how they like to not move. So
Yeah.
I could see him with some bad luck on Carter's side even catch a win in this first main tonight.
Yeah, Carter seems to override the track sometimes when he does get some clear lane. He got 5 seconds, but I mean, if he goes down and Jackson's just sitting there, he's been like the silent assassin, just kind of sitting around and making these moves. We haven't talked about him one time. Now he's up in second. Vial's faded back, but now look at him putting on the charge. But he does have some company right behind him here.
Yeah, Trevor Burns has fired back up onto the rear tire of Pablo Vial. And the same battle that we were watching for the lead is now a battle for third place as they try to close up onto Frank Jackson and make it a 3-rider battle. Oh, and Burns runs Vial into the tunnel. He ends up going by, but he's sideways in the whoops, saves it, and now is up into P3. And a mistake out of Frank Jackson just like that allows Burns up into second. So it's Burns, Vial, Jackson, 2, 3, 4, with Jeremy Smith now starting to deal with pressure from Zaka. Leclerc, T-Lang now up into the mix with Siebold on the 10. We finally see a District Designs rider in the mix. Hubbard rounds out our top 10 in the 10 spot. Caleb Hall, Spencer Turley, Castellaneta, Luke Sullivan, Tanner Rogers, and second in the points, Colby Eaglin, who's having an awful main event right now. Alligator in chat letting us know not going well for him, and certainly not in 16th for the 24 machine.
It's just a crazy, disappointing ride for him in this first main event here. You would hope if you're kind of top 3 in the points to be up in that top 5 to 10 area. You know, if you have a bad race between 5 to 10, but Eaglin just really not putting anything together here. Maybe not gelling with the track, but this is really going to hurt him. A lot of other guys that he feels like maybe shouldn't be beating him so consistently are up there battling, but man, moving up to Trevor Burns right here. He's putting in a great ride. He's got some competition right behind him. Look at these guys hitting the big rhythms, but they're inconsistent. He's going to case that, does not go off the bike. Just like that, a little bit more pressure on his rear wheel.
Yep, this is a battle for second place, yes, because it is Carter still leading. Burns now dealing with pressure from Frank Jackson, who has moved back into third place. Jeremy Smith has just been lurking here, and he's bringing Kevin Frizaka with him. This is now fourth and fifth with Smith and Frizaka. I feel like this battle for second, though, is starting to heat back up. Frank Jackson wants a piece of Trevor Burns.
Yeah, Trevor Burns, I mean, he's absolutely ripping right now. Look at this quad in the corner. Maybe he saw that, but oh my God,
right
that's
out
a
of that.
360.
Jackson hits him. Smith goes down. For
Everyone's going down.
Everybody's going down.
Getting into the mix a little bit. Who is that down on the Phil's bike, I think, or is that a Connect Visual
Number
bike
50.
on the 50? Not sure who that was, but it took Frizaka and Smith, who were up there.
No.
Leclerc gets into Frizaka as Smith now side by side with Caleb Hall. Hall down the inside gets by him. Siebold also snuck through in this.
That was Holiak.
Hubbard, it was Holiak who was down on the 50. Hubbard is now up here. Frank Jackson, Pablo Vial got hung up, but he's now into third. Hubbard moved from 10th to 5th thanks to that entire situation and is now trying to get up into fourth on Frank Jackson. Man, that just turned into chaos in a hurry. Some guys with the spotters not helping out fast enough, and it gave a massive lead to Braden Carter, who's going to get the white flag next time by.
Someone said they have the same exact flaggers as A1. That makes sense after we saw that long rhythm section with the atrocity of the flagging they had there. Braden Carter actually hit those whoops Mach 10. I don't know if you saw that first section. He's absolutely ripping right now. If he gets a start, it's going to be a problem for the rest of these guys. I would not be surprised to see Braden go 1-1-1 throughout these main events here. But it's crazy to see the difference that we've had. Burns 17 seconds down, but Frank Jackson and Jeremy Siebold came up from way back. Hubbard as well. Some of these guys putting themselves inside the top 10 from deep down, deep in the placements here, closer to 20th position, moving on up.
It's like Hubbard maybe just went down because he slid from 5th back to the 9 spot. Still trying to keep an eye on how, man, Frizaka was so battling fast for 4th and is now 14th. And I don't know how Carter just landed that. Meanwhile, Alexis Leclerc is 15th and Colby Eagland is 16th if you looked across the top of the board right there. So that is how quickly fortunes can change. Leclerc was even leading this main event at one point, not even going to finish inside of the top 10. And Braden Carter is watching nothing but great points heading his way because his closest rivals are having an awful night so far. Carter, another case to somehow save. Maybe has the most saves of anybody every single week, and just putting it all together. Here it is, 450 main event number 1. Braden Carter front flips over the line to take the dub. Lands it even though he almost landed on his back.
Matty B would be proud.
Trevor Burns looks like he is just barely going to hold on to second, tightening it up after casing that quad. Pablo Vial should get third, no problem, just ahead of Frank Jackson. And Jeremy Siebold worked all the way up to 5th in this one, so a good recovery for him, as Caleb Hall should be 6th. Jeremy Smith trying to hold on to 7th with T-Lang on the 5, right behind him in 8th. Luke Sullivan got up into the top 10, he's 9th, and Braden Castellaneta quadding his way into the corner in 10th. Spencer Turley made it up to 11th in this one with Tanner Rogers in 12th. Eagland will end up 13th, and that puts him in a really tough spot heading into the next 2 main events to try to salvage some points here tonight. Good news for him, he can still salvage points. Same for Jacob Hubbard, who got all the way up to 5th, ends up 14th. Kevin Frizaka ends up in 15th after battling up front. And Leclerc, last week's winner, 16th ahead of Austin Partolo, who was a lap down. Logan Leitzel, Devin Davis, Garrett Hollenbeck, Connor Holiak, and Nick Tomasunis, who make up runners in this one. Wow. Doc, that is massive already tonight, with Carter getting the win and a low score of 1 on the board, whereas Eagland puts up a 12, Leclerc a 16, Siebold, I mean, puts up a 5, so you can say in there, but
it just speaks volumes on consistency and just staying up there. And being in that top 5 every weekend. I mean, if we see that one more time tonight, they're probably not going to finish in the top 10 overall, even if they get top 3 the next moto.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And of course, the same thing can go for Carter here, but yeah, we need. It doesn't even matter. We can see that starts aren't necessarily the biggest thing here. It's great to see people like Trevor Burns get out, get going quick. I know he did some aggressive passes, but man, he rode great.
Yeah, Trevor did ride great, no question about that. And I think some people will probably be having some words with him after this on Jet and Jason Anderson. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. We're already making some enemies in the first 450 main of the night as we roll into 250 main number 2 coming up here in just a moment. Looks like my daughter has made it all the way back over here. She's ready to add some. What do you got, Holly? What's going on? Yeah, that's what I was going to say, too. Good night. Can I have a hug?
No.
Oh, okay.
Can you say goodnight? Can you say goodnight?
Good night. I love you, too. All right, folks. 250 main event 2 coming up next. Remember, it was Tharp with the win in the first one. Ahead of what Shirley was second, and I'm trying to remember who was third. Doc, do you remember?
I have no
trying
clue.
to draw a blank right here.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is going to be a fun one to call and see what happens in main event number 2 of the 250s. We're almost halfway through the program here tonight.
One thing I'm loving to see at these Triple Crowns is one of my favorite parts about them is you could have someone that should be in the top 3 every moto could be outside of the top 15, and it really shakes things up, and it shows people that this class is a lot deeper than most people think.
Absolutely. A big shout out really quickly here to Zach Dupuis, who's hitting me right now with the tracker for the Triple Crown. Only thing I'm not sure of what's going on is Braden Tharp won the first one. It's listed that he won the first one, but it shows him 21st overall. But anyway, Tharp won, Shirley second, Heilman third, Ben Kafa and Tyler Shoei rounding out the top 5. And this sets us up for a fantastic second 250 main event. Awood, predictions?
Yes, I think Tharp's been good on starts, and he had a great main event number 1 here tonight, and I hope he can keep doing that. But I think Shirley is just so consistent. I don't think he's going to let himself get outside the podium in any of these races. Even if he stays inside the top 5, I think that's going to be a very difficult overall. So we're going to have to keep an eye on Tharp off the start and kind of see where he ends up. But Shirley, man, I know he wants to go perfect as far as overalls on this West Coast battle that he's doing. So we're going to have to keep an eye out on him. But I think Tharp is going to be the one that we're going to have to keep an eye on as far as his competitor for this round at least.
All right, Doc, hit me. Your Design Lab Co. whole shot winner in main 2.
A whole shot winner.
Yeah,
I still want to see Colin Allen get a good start out here.
All right,
I mean, we saw how he finished with a crap start, so let's see him get out there, get up front, and run up there with the people he should be around.
All right.
For qualifying.
Haywood, you got one for us?
Vince Fries.
Vince Fries, not on the gate here tonight. I'm going to go Holtzy for main 2. It's an 18 should get off to a good start.
I'm going to go Tharp again.
All right, Tharp again. So Tharp gets the whole shot in the first one.
He
wins
gets
main
the gate
1.
he wants.
Yeah.
And he's gonna get a good jump, but surely he's gonna be top 5. I like Tharp. He's been getting good starts.
All right. So you got Tharp. I have Holtzy. Excuse me. And Doc has Colin.
Earthquake. Live in studio.
Live in studio earthquake just happened. Doc Smith is
Just
like
a little baby one
Doc
though.
Smith is like, whoa, my Texas.
That was like a little 3.5, like 20 miles away.
Should we get Doc's live reaction back on the webcam? Doc,
It's still shaking
how's
a
it
little
feel
bit.
to be in an earthquake?
You feel the
Oh,
wiggles?
it's crazy, you know. I never would
It's still
expect
wiggling.
that.
The mic's still shaking.
it's not.
You might need to pull the mic a little closer to you, Doc, by the way.
Hello.
All right, folks, here we go. 250 main event number 2 coming up. 10 minutes plus a lap. And yeah, we certainly just did have an earthquake. So
It's-
Not sure.
This mic is so extended, it's like doing little jiggles still.
Yeah, all right. Let's see. Might have some aftershocks. It might be coming in the main event, number 2 for the 250 class. Who gets that Design Lab Co. hole shot? Let's find out in Anaheim. Watching Ben Cave up the inside, gets a pretty good jump. Shirley drag racing with Alec Horn, who gets to the corner first. They both push wide. Alec Horn with the hole shot puts Seth Shirley on the ground
dead.
with a little crossover, and it's Horn leading from Ben Kafa as they head into the second corner.
Man, I actually should have picked Thorne. I forgot he had such a great start last time. Look at that up ahead early on. I just hope he can keep it together because he kind of threw it away a little bit and was starting to fade back. Look at that through the whoops, and he goes down off the bike, and that's going to allow Ben Kafa to get to the lead here. He's going to go through a little bit off rhythm, but he is now settled in first place, and there's just a couple riders chasing him and then a pretty big gap. So I think he's got 2 guys maybe within the second, but just like that, they got about a 3 or 4 second lead over the next couple guys. So Kafa through this section pretty cleanly. He's going through. Third place rider goes down, might have been in second. So now the top 2 are all alone. Kafa, though, by himself as he comes across the finish line to complete this first lap.
Quick update, it was a 4.5 magnitude earthquake based in San Bernardino. So I got you beat, A-Wood. But yeah,
my house would have been ripping.
Oh, Kafa down with the lead, hands it over to Emmett Sund. And we certainly have a bit of a shakeup going on in this 250 class right now. Sund out front, and he finished up in the 6th spot in the first race by the looks of it. We got Schaefer down. Who is that down with him? Trying to get a number on that. Oh, big crash as Tyler Shoei goes down. We got Caden Speck hitting the deck. A lot of guys going down. But it's Sund now from Stevenson and Cooper Hunt. And my goodness, Doc, these overalls are about to be all over the place.
Looking like C-Class at Loretta's.
So Hunt now settles in behind Hayden Stevenson. Remember, Stevenson trying to mix it up with the 12 machine, ended up going through the LCQ in San Francisco, finishing 3rd that night. So we'll see if he can have another good result here in Anaheim too. Hunt, Schaefer, Ryan Pinkerton with a good run here so far. Soderblom, and there comes the 1 dub of Seth Shirley moving into 6th. So finally one of the guys we saw in that first main event battling it up here in the 6th spot in main 2.
Charlie, I was looking at the earthquake stuff. I don't really know what's going on.
You ain't listening either? He's announcing all of it.
Yeah, come on.
I was dialed in. I was trying to see where it was. You know, it was like the 91, 215, probably right around where Chaparral is, probably right under them. So we're seeing where that is. Schaefer, though, going to go long on that triple out. Look at them, though. If these guys get a good drive through this whoop section, they can kind of sweep around here. They really set themselves up for a nice rhythm or a nice little single, triple. And the guys that are getting through clean are getting a lot of time through that second whoop section. I think that's a pretty big spot on the track that seems really minor, but actually gains them a lot of time.
Back up towards our lead group. This is the battle for second still going after it right now. Cooper Hunt, who qualified 2nd here tonight, right on Stevenson in a great battle for the 2 spot, and you got to watch out for Schaefer there closing the gap down as well. Let's see, where did Cooper Hunt finish in the first moto? Trying to get a result on him. Not seeing it on my sheet right now for some reason, but oh, there it is, 8th for Cooper Hunt in the first moto. Hayden Stevenson ended up 15th.
Yeah,
Austin Schaefer, let's see, he finished.
Oh, look at that leader down.
The
Second place down. Goes for the quad out or goes long on the triple. Had the front end high. Cooper Hunt easily to the lead right there. And now he's got a trail of just 1 rider behind him, actually. So Cooper Hunt needs to put down some hot laps here. Schaefer 0.7 back. And he's going to try to, these guys are going to try to pull away. Emmett Sund is in 3rd, Seth Shirley in 4th, though. I would keep an eye on Shirley in 4th and kind of watch the gap as you see it scroll along the top of your screen.
Let's go on board with Seth Shirley and see what it's like from the champ's perspective. 102.5 last time by. You can see 3rd place right in front of him. That is still Emmett Sund, who was leading this race and crashed it away back to 3rd. But Shirley, really the only guy that had a good first moto result that's kind of mixing it up. I mean, Hunt right now with that 8th place in the first moto, also having a pretty solid score. But Shirley with the 2nd.
102.5 back to back.
Yeah.
What's the lap times ahead of him? Because he looks like he's going faster, but we got a 109 last. 101 though we got
Cooper
up there.
Hunt. Cooper Hunt crashed and is now 6th. So let's go back. Shirley has got Ryan Pinkerton right on him, actually. Let's take a look at this fight from the onboard camera with Ryan Pinkerton and see what he's watching.
See them cut down here. They'll go single, triple, triple. They're trying to get their front wheel light over that first one, then get that little seat bounce. He gets it, but not very clean. Loses a little bit of ground to Seth Shirley here as they go into this long rhythm section. We see them go triple in over that 5-footer. They're only going triple on, though. A couple guys we saw in practice kind of hitting that quad over, but man, not able to get that here. Pinkerton just a little bit short, but man, 4th place right behind Seth Shirley's a pretty good place to be.
This is still tight out front. Our leader is only a few seconds up the road from Pinkerton, and Pinkerton has Evan Holt and Cooper Hunt right on him. And you can see from Hunt's perspective here, all these guys still just right ahead of him, all the way up to Seth Shirley going into the corner just up the road. Emmett Sund has moved back into 2nd place as Schaefer continues to lead this race, and we're past the halfway point in 250 main event number 2. Ooh, Cooper Hunt getting kicked sideways. Emmett Sund is down out of 2nd, and he slides back to 6th. So Hunt, Holtze, Pinkerton, and Shirley through. Shirley now all the way up into 2nd as Austin Schaefer leads this race. But Shirley is sitting really good for the overall, like you mentioned, Daywood. It's the consistency that's killing everybody.
Yeah, I mean, he's been here before, so he knows. He's ridden a couple of these Triple Crowns before, so have some of the other guys. But when you've won a championship and you know what it takes, you know when you come into these rounds, don't get mad when you get a mid-pack start and you go down early. Get yourself up there, put yourself in a good position. And Seth Shirley has done that in the first race. And now with a pretty decent start, not the best, he gets himself up about halfway through this race. 6.5 completed, 4.5 to go, or 3.5 to go plus a lap. Seth Shirley's right where he wants to be, and this is going to put him way above his competitors as far as the overall's considered.
And look, this battle for the lead is not over by any stretch of the imagination. Austin Schaefer still just circulating with a 2.8 second advantage. He looks comfortable out front, but lap traffic is going to start coming into play as Shirley just gets by a down rider. There's still Pinkerton, Holtze, Cooper Hunt, making a mistake. Lucas Brune hits him, and they are going to change positions. Brune goes by as does Caden Speck. But Doc, if you're any one of these guys in this position coming down the stretch, do you want to be this 2.8 second lead that Schaefer has, or do you want to be able to look up to him and try to close that gap down?
Honestly, I want to be Pinkerton. I want to be right behind Seth and just latch on to him and let him pull me forward.
Yeah.
Maybe not now.
Maybe not now. I mean, but whoever's behind him, I want to latch on to Seth and let him pull me forward because it looks like he is making his way forward anyways.
Yeah, Seth Shirley has his eyes on the race lead, trying to close that down. Holtze did go by Pinkerton, who made a mistake before the finish line jump. We got a lapped rider right behind Holtze. I don't know who it is, but he's keeping him honest, although he jumps off the track right there, so Pinkerton will also go back through. But yeah, Seth Shirley sitting on 2-2 scores right now. 101.1 last time by, 101.6. Austin Schaefer, 3.2 seconds in it. 2 minutes and a lap left to go on the clock. Is there enough time, Andrew Wood, for Seth Shirley to get this dub?
100%. I think Seth is kind of he's in a great spot unless he overrides it. If we see I'm sure we might see a mistake, but if we do, it'll be something dumb. I think he's just going to be kind of trying to push it just a little bit too much, too early. I think if he rides his own comfortable pace, he's going to be fine and be able to make this. I don't think the leader can kind of keep up the pace that Shirley wants to run, but man, I totally agree with Doc. When you're behind the best rider in the field, you're not worried about, I know we saw a mistake, but you're not worried about them really kind of slowing up or making a mistake into you. That's probably one of the nicest places to be because you're just kind of, you've got a gap behind you and you're following a guy who should be faster than you, and that's an easy way to kind of tail on and just kind of start ripping off lap times closer to theirs, as we see Shirley making a million mistakes here as he's chasing down the leader. But man, still so close. Probably about the same gap that we saw him come through this section last lap around.
Yeah, 2.1 seconds
and there
is the
it
gap.
is.
102.2. 102.2 last time by as Schaefer continues to lead. And
that horn dropped all the way back, getting lapped.
Yeah, I think it was the 27 of Alec Horn who is really down bad in this race right now. Schaefer still leading though, 2 laps to go. And current update on the standings with Shirley in second. He's sitting on 4 points. Braden Tharp is second overall on a 110. Emmett Sun
Jesus.
third overall on a 6.6. So that shows you just how mixed up these results are at the moment, and it may even go more in the favor of Seth Shirley because that gap to Schaefer is coming down in a hurry.
Yeah, I mean, he's just kind of putting together lines, not doing any of the big lines, trying to push it. But look at this little small mistakes. He's inching and inching closer. He's got till the checker flag, then one lap, about 1.5 laps to go. And I really think he's going to get to the lead here. I don't think he's going to have to try and make a big block pass. I think Schaefer's making enough mistakes that Shirley's going to be able to go by smoothly. And when you hear all the other guys' kind of positions going around, he knows he's comfortable for the overall. And he's just going to kind of coast in, though. If he can't make it move easily, I think he might just settle for second here in this race.
Well, we'll see. White flag is waving. Schaefer trying to bring this thing home with a race win after a 12th in the first main event. And Seth Shirley is trying to steal this one away from him as they go into the tunnel jump. Shirley has a massive lead, is probably going to win the overall if he puts a decent third main event together. But he wants to win this one right now. Side by side, does he go for the quad? No, but Schaefer does. Little bit of short one, but he just made it over. And that might be just enough of a gap. We'll see with a few corners left to go in this one. Lap traffic. Schaefer noses in and goes down. And Seth Shirley takes over the lead. Unbelievable. Shirley has done it again.
Schaefer gave him just enough gap so when he went down that Shirley didn't get caught up.
Yeah, he didn't run
you're
into
right.
him.
You're absolutely right. And Seth Shirley just going to cruise this one in. A little bit short on the triple right there. But look at that. Second in the first main event. Doesn't matter if he's got a broken wrist. He's going to win 250 main event too. Seth Shirley takes it in Anaheim.
Man, that's crazy. He just kind of put himself in the position he needed to be in, waited for Schaefer to make the mistake himself, and I really don't think he was going to push it. But Schaefer just kind of clipped his wheel, might have got the seat bounce wrong on that wheeling over that first single into the whoops, and on that triple kind of nose bonks it and then goes down. Cooper Hunt's coming along in 7th place. Look at these guys coming through. Braden Tharp in 8th. All these guys are flip-flopping so much, though, from their first position. That's what's giving Seth Shirley basically this overall by probably a 10-point gap now going into the third main event. Everyone has had one really good race and one really bad race.
Well, with Tharp getting back to 8th, that actually cuts it to a 6-point deficit because Shirley on 2-1 is on 3 points and a 1-8 for Tharp is 9 points. 6 points in it between them going into the last race. Let's go down the order real quick here so we can get a clear indication where everybody was. Seth Shirley takes the win. Austin Schaefer second. Evan Holt third. Ryan Pinkerton fourth. Hayden Speck rounds out the top 5 ahead of Lucas Brune in 6th. Cooper Hunt 7th. 8th for Braden Tharp. 9th for Colin Allen. And rounding out the top 10 was Jonathan Hernandez. John Heilman ends up 11th ahead of Millie Soderblom. Hayden Stevenson, Tyler Shoei, Ben Kafa rounds out the top 15. Emmett Sund, who led that race at one point, ends up 16th. Joey Rico, Manuel Cepeda, Tucker Zimmerman. Alec Horn ends up 21st on cuts after Nick Niles leapfrogs him, and Daniel Olson did not finish that main event. So Seth Shirley, if there ever was a catbird seat, I think Seth Shirley's in it.
Yeah, it's tough for Schaefer because he was up front that entire race pretty much, and for him to go down and throw it away that late is really tough to see. But I mean, Seth, he put himself in the right spot and just rode it through.
Absolutely, definitely what he needed to get done in that main event if he wants to win the overall here tonight. We've got a very serious
I've got my answer
in
typed
chat.
out. I was going to throw it to you guys.
Okay, very serious question in chat. A-Wood, top 3 cereals of all time.
I want to hear you guys first. Or
I don't eat cereal.
okay.
Wow, never?
I just don't.
Like never, ever, ever in
well,
your life?
I have, yes.
Okay, so you don't have a cereal that you've enjoyed?
I don't know. I like chocolate, so like Cocoa Puffs maybe.
Okay, yeah,
Okay,
that's
those
a
are
good
good.
one.
All right, I got number 1. Frost. I have it typed out. I never sent it because I was going to ask you. Frosted Flakes.
Okay.
So good. Hard and like once you let them, I like to like let my cereal kind of like soak up the milk a little bit. Okay. Not be fresh in it, but like not be super soft. But Frosted Flakes are good the whole way through. Reese's Puffs.
Okay.
And then this is me getting old, but it's not even that bad. Honey Nut Cheerios. I used to
No,
like
no
the
frosted
old.
mini wheats.
You gross. Frosted mini wheats is like
I think
freaking
I think
Special K. That's like my grandma eats those, and it tastes like. I ate something the other day. It was like some random piece of like some dry bread thing, and I was like, this tastes like old person cereal. That's what like Special K is. It's like it's just like getting this stuff. Honey Nut Cheerios are not that great. OG Cheerios with like a bunch of sugar,
Okay.
I have my
unreal
Let's
amount of
see what we
sugar.
got, Doc.
We
What do
got Cocoa Puffs in first. We got Captain Crunch, as long as it's not dry, in second, and then Cheerios in third. Yeah.
All right, fair enough. I
Special K.
I think I'd put Cinnamon Toast Crunch as my number one.
Oh, I forgot about that.
And then, do you remember the Oreos cereal?
I know exactly. What
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
That would be number two.
whoa.
Put that number two.
We're not talking about discontinued stuff.
Oh, come on! What is this?
I'm Xing the one. What's the one that's like a chocolate chip cookie? Cookie Crisp.
Yeah.
Oh,
Cookie
that's,
Crisp,
that's in my top
Cookie
three for
Crisp,
sure, too.
number
Cookie Crisp,
one.
Oreos and Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Cookie Crisp number one.
Day.
Frosted Flakes, Reese's Puffs.
Okay. All right.
Cookie Crisp.
Cookie Crisp. Doc Smith, hit me with your Design Lab Co. Whole Shot
Unreal.
winner. 450 main event.
I'm stealing his Hubbard.
All right, Hubbard for him. Haywood.
I was gonna pick Hubbard all season until he got
Well,
one.
it's
All
tough.
season.
You go. I know the names. I'm gonna pick who's like gonna hug the inside and be good because Carter don't got it like that
I'm
right
going
now.
Leclerc.
Dude, Carter is not that good at hole shots, especially with like this like wide double turn. I'll get one before the gate drops.
Here,
All
just
right.
pick one.
D-Lane.
T-Lang. All right. Head over to the designlabco.com. They bring you guys the Whole Shot Award, which right now Doc Smith is picking Jacob Hubbard. I am picking Alexis Leclerc, and Andrew Wood is picking Tyler Lang to Whole Shot 450 main event number 2 in Anaheim.
See, it's a
Take both
sponsored
my
segment.
picks. Takes both my
It's a sponsored
picks.
segment. You got to pick one in time.
I'll do the read while I'm thinking. You took my pick. He picked my number 2, and then I gotta sit there and
Well,
think about.
you waited so long to pick. You told him to pick before you.
All right, here we go, folks. Strap in and get ready to go for this one because it is time for 450 main event number 2. We are off and running. Who gets the whole shot? I think that's Rogers with a great start again up the middle. Someone tucked the front end. It is Tanner Rogers this time, and Doc Smith picked him the first main
I called
event.
him.
It doesn't work out this time. The Design Lab Co. whole shot goes to Tanner Rogers. He leads the way from Jacob Hubbard, who did get a good start. Caleb Hall, Alexis Leclerc also with a great start. Pablo Vial up there. Jeremy Siebold off to a good one. I do not see the number 1 machine of Braden Carter. I think he may have gone down in the first couple of corners.
I picked Tanner Rogers. I don't know what you're talking about. Tanner Rogers with a great start. I mean, look at this. He's one of those guys that I feel like we don't talk about too much, but when he gets up here early on, he always leads for a while. And I hope I don't give him the curse, but I mean, he's really strong early on. I just don't know if he has the ability to go 12 minutes plus 1 lap. So I think that's going to be what we're looking for. It's about 1 minute into the race, and he's crossing the finish line. And he's got a pretty good gap, not too much pressure right behind him. I'm looking at the top of the screen, kind of seeing who's coming around. Braden Carter back in 9th, Frank Jackson back in 8th. So Tanner Rogers, if he can kind of throw himself a little bit of a lead, but man, looks like he's got some competition already early on.
Yep, so Rogers leads. Hubbard is trying to go to the lead as Leclerc takes over 3rd place from Caleb Hall in the background.
Ooh,
Leclerc's down.
Dead.
Definitely down, and he brings Caleb Hall with him. This is a stack
1,
up.
2,
Oh my
3,
goodness.
4, 5,
Carter
6,
just
7,
right
8,
down.
9,
Logan
10.
Leitzel just fived in from the heavens and landed on top of them as you got Rogers leading from Hubbard, Hall, and Carter snuck through from 9th to get into 4th. Just keeps doing it, Doc.
Man, I saw they had that whole crash going on. He doubled and singled into the corner and jumped to the inside of him
Right
and
past
just
them.
went past 5 people in 1 corner.
Unbelievable what Carter's able to accomplish, and it's just sometimes thinking ahead a little bit that makes it happen. But now Hubbard is closing up onto his Phil ski and snowboard teammate, trying to take this lead away. And you think back to last year when Hubbard and Carter had the bout of a lifetime at Anaheim 2 in the Triple Crown. Could we be in for another one if Hubbard goes to the lead? And he is.
Yeah, Hubbard didn't really have to work around his teammate there. I thought we were going to see a good battle, tricky into this turning rhythm section, but he's just going to get it kind of clean. Ooh. Look at that, case is up a little bit, almost ended up like Leclerc, who took out 10 people, I counted. Crazy that he took out half the field, looking like Vince Freeze out there. But Jacob Hubbard blitzing the whoops, which is kind of weird. Maybe that's more comfortable early on until you get that kind of rut going through the whoops there. But Jacob Hubbard just kind of on the gas here. And, man, I think he's in a good spot if he can kind of break away from these guys and kind of get away, get himself a nice little lead.
Well, that's what Carter was doing, was blitzing through the whoops in the first main event. And that's kind of what was the difference maker when he eventually went to the lead. So we'll see if he continues to attack that approach, does Jacob Hubbard. Back to Carter in third, though. And, yeah, won the first main event, so we know what to expect out of him for the rest of the night. At this point, it's just going to be consistently up front. But,
1 minute.
Yeah, 1 minute flat 0.9.
I mean, when you're putting down that hot of a lap on lap 2, the track's not even broken in. A lot of these fast guys, they rely on the big ruts that kind of build up in the corners to carry their corner speed through. And if he's dropping that lap time early, look at that. He could have gotten 6 into that corner if he wanted to. He almost downside the berm. Look at this line, though, hugging the inside, banking off, then going inside again. And now he's blitzing. I honestly think Carter's going to easily get out front, win this main event, and kind of stick the knife in the rest of these guys. He's going to win this thing straight out. And it's going to be a problem for these guys. If they keep going and he keeps performing like this, I think Carter is an easy favorite, man, the way he's performing so far.
I'm curious to see the team tactics coming into this one. And we saw that Tanner let Hubbard by. Let's see if he's going to let Carter by as well.
59-2. I don't think there's any team tactics even with for or against Braden, though.
Well, look
you
at this.
Can't stop him. He's going to pass him before you even think about it.
Rogers pulls up alongside. Carter gets to the outside and moves into second. Later track between he and Jacob Hubbard. So a rematch of the Anaheim 2 Triple Crown last year.
Oh, he's dead.
No
way.
Rides out of it, where Carter and Hubbard went at it for the first main event win. One of the best races we've maybe ever seen in MotoOption Supercross. And Carter is just making it look ridiculous as he flies the gap down to Jacob Hubbard. Doc Smith, I think we're going to see a rematch of last year coming up.
Unfortunately, and I love Hubbard to death, but I don't think we are. I think we're just going to see Carter blitz the whoop section, and then Carter has such a high intensity right now that I don't know if Hubbard's going to be able to keep up with at the moment.
Does he play first person?
Yes.
Because it looks like he's going to die in the first person, which means normally in third, you're like dead. Yeah, because it looks it like calms it down so much, and the fact that he's looking so sketchy right now but able to save this, it's unreal.
He made a couple pretty gnarly mistakes and still ran a 1 flat.
Dude, these guys just know. They just know what their bike's gonna do.
Oh,
I mean,
Hubbard's down with the lead.
Carter
dead. Gets into him and just goes right by as he wheelies through the whoops. Again, I just don't understand how he keeps doing it. Braden Carter goes to the race lead. Tanner Rogers into second, and Hubbard picks it up a dejected third right now, but now he's going to have to deal with some heat. Jeremy Seabold has closed this gap down. Another really tough race right now for Colby Eagland, who is 20th for the man second in points entering tonight, and that is certainly going to fall the way of Jeremy Seabold as things run. Seabold battling it out with Hubbard in this fight for third place. Excuse me for just 1 second. I need to pull up our 450 results so we can see our current standings. But yeah, Carter's got this thing in hand at the moment with the way things are shaking down.
Yeah, Colby's got to have something going on. I mean, we went into last round, it was Colby, Seabold, Leclerc that are basically the only guys that can compete with him right now. And Colby is just having a terrible, terrible round here. So I feel like we're kind of dialing that back, but Seabold as well hasn't had a good last round and this round. So, I mean, I don't know. I feel like this is going to be it's going to be really disappointing for these guys to come into the next round and see the points gap that they have to Braden Carter with the way that he's been riding.
Well, the good thing for Seabold's case right now is that I think he overall is ahead of Hubbard and Rogers in a battle for second overall right now. So even though he's going 5-4, I think it is, at the moment, he's still picking up second place points as it runs, which is pretty crazy to think, but that's only losing 3 points to Braden Carter. And we'll see how it goes in the third main event, but that's what the Triple Crown does. You think the results are really skewed, and then it turns out that you only lose a few points in the end.
Yeah, the thing is, I think he's so far back in the championship already that even losing 3 more points, you know, he was behind those other guys, Eaglin and Leclerc, as far as I know, and it's just it's gonna be crazy if we go in. Look at these guys trying to get that quad, and so many of them are surviving. I just think if you are already 20 points down and you're in 4th, and then now you're beating the guys, you're still going to be 23 points down, you know, something like that. So it's going to be really tricky. These guys need to get out front, and they need to get a W ahead of Braden Carter to kind of get themselves back in the championship. And I don't know if that's going to happen.
Yeah, I don't know. Carter looks really good here tonight, but Jeremy Seabold has been trying to find a way around Jacob Hubbard. He's in a Phil ski and snowboard sandwich. Alexis Leclerc right behind him in the 5 spot on the 7. Oh, and Hubbard rear end slide out, doesn't get the finish line jump, and Seabolt and Leclerc scoot right on by. Next up on their list, Tanner Rogers. Meanwhile, Seabolt cases the double, and Leclerc takes advantage. Up to 3rd place goes the 7 machine.
Yeah, Leclerc, I mean, he's putting on a good performance back in the 3rd place here, and he's going to be the most consistent person here tonight besides Braden Carter. It's just Leclerc seems like he's all or nothing sometimes with the way that he rides. But, man, in this Triple Crown, he's performing really good, keeping some consistent results up in the top 3. And it's just if he can keep it together. Ooh. Look at that little mistake. Gets a Seabolt into the back of him. Seabolt is able to stay up. Man, these guys are just chasing down. But I think Braden Carter is still pulling away up front here. They got to make some moves quick if they're going to have anything to say. 9 minutes in, 3 minutes plus a lap to go.
All right, let's see what happens here in the final 3 minutes of this race. Carter is still leading, and it's not a particularly large lead as he goes off the track right there. It's, what, 5-6 seconds. Rogers misses the double. Here comes Leclerc. Rogers tries to jump back in. Leclerc down the inside just blows right by him, lands in the rut, hops out, and moves into 2nd place. And now Rogers is going to have to deal with Jeremy Seabolt in a fight for 3rd.
Man, that was crazy. The way Leclerc made that pass, jumped in so deep to that rut, but was able to land on the bank and just keep the throttle on. Look at these guys going in. It seems like they're either going really long. Oh! Tanner Rogers goes down hard. Thomas Unis down under the tunnel as well. He's just a lapper, though, and that's going to allow Hubbard, Seabolt, and Leclerc to go by. And look at them keep just chasing right here. Seabolt now into 3rd place, and he's got Hubbard now a little bit back. So Seabolt is on the chase for Leclerc, and then they have a big gap up to Carter. So we'll see what Seabolt can do if he can get a little bit closer to Leclerc, who has been pulling him, but able to make a little bit some mistakes prior to this.
Kind of interesting to see. It seems like the erode is affecting some of these jump faces just enough that busting out a quad or something along those lines in these rhythm lanes is even becoming a little less possible as the race goes on. Very unique situation to see how that all shakes down. So now that Leclerc has clean air, 59.8 just resets his best lap of the race. It's not quite what Carter was putting down early on, but it does seem like Leclerc wants to go after the 1, and maybe a late mistake from the 1, which is pretty uncommon, but it's possible to maybe make this thing a little bit more interesting down the stretch as Leclerc. Oh, Seabolt down, and Hubbard goes by. Seabolt down out of 3rd. Hubbard through. Trevor Burns goes by as well. That is not for position. Tanner Rogers stays in the 5 spot as he goes through some of those tough blocks. But it is a Phil's 1, 2, 3, 5 right now. And that's got to make the boss man happy. But what will make him happier? Yeah, what will make him happier is seeing the checker flag wave first for him. Whoa! That.
All right.
Even finding a little extra.
Do something else. Do it again.
Let's see a triple in right here.
Anyone in Discord with Carter, tell him to do something really cool.
Oh, pops up high in the air, goes around. I think that might be D. Davis on the ground.
No shot we got that quad. Because the way that they're getting so really sketchy, they're framing it, they're clipping it, or they're going 15 feet long. There's no shot I got that. That's what first thing I do when I get home is going to try to hit that quad.
Okay, first thing A-Wood does when he gets back home is go for the quad. Carter is going to bring us down to the white flag this time by because time has expired. It is the 12-minute mark of this main event, and the white flag will wave right now as you see it in the air. Carter crossing the finish line. Leclerc still second. Seabolt still third. Oh, Jeremy Smith has made it all the way up to fourth. And Smith, who was seventh in the first one, getting into the picture here a little bit in terms of a potential podium overall. Pablo Vial is there. Jacob Hubbard's trying to pass Vial. Spencer Turley is in the mix as well, trying to say, what's up, my dudes, man? I want to get up here and battle these guys for a spot in the top 5. You got Smith, Vial, Hubbard, and Turley going at it. There's a sentence right there you never expect to hear, but this is what we get here in Anaheim, too. Wait, Carter's down with the lead? Oh, he did, and here comes Leclerc on the final lap. There's lap traffic aplenty. Carter might get away with this thing at the end of it all.
Yeah, I mean, he went down under that tunnel and just not enough time for Leclerc to get there. That's what happens when you build such a big lead. You're able to save that. I really didn't think he was going to be able to do that. So many lappers and stuff in there. But man, Carter coming all alone right here. Almost a 2-second lead still coming to the finish.
Here it is. Braden Carter takes 450 main event number 2. Going for the sweep tonight as Leclerc follows him home 2 seconds to the good. Jeremy Seabolt will end up in 3rd. Jeremy Smith trying to lock down 4th. Tanner Rogers 5th. Caleb Hall 6th. Here comes Hubbard down the inside.
Hubbard
Not going to get
again.
there. Can Hall hold on for one more turn? Over the finish line jump they come.
Oh my
Hubbard
goodness.
goes for the Scrub City
So
just to
sketchy.
get a little bit closer at the flag. Vial will beat Spencer Turley. Turley is following. Yeah, so that was a lapped rider right there. I think it was Eagland even, which is really rough. Or maybe it was Burns. Garrett Hollenbeck rounds out the top 10. Sullivan 11th. Jackson 12th. Castellaneta. Tyler Lang. Berzaka. Leitzel. Eagland in this one ends up in 17th. Parnello, Burns, Nick T, Thomas Sunis as Devin Davis and Connor Holiak round out our finishers. Boy, oh boy, this is very interesting the way that things are shaping up because Carter's probably got this thing on lock, but what's going on behind him is total chaos.
I was going to say, it seems not interesting at the front because Braden Carter has it, but then the rest of the guys seem like they're just like the 250 class where they went 315, 212, stuff like that. So we're going to have to see what happens when we get the updated points after the 2 motos. But Braden Carter seems like he has this round on lock, and it's not even the start of the 3rd race yet. So I'll see what happens here.
Yeah, so unofficially, it looks like Carter is sitting on 2 points. Seabolt is 2nd overall on 8 points. And Jeremy Smith rounds out the podium on 11 points.
Jeremy?
And that is Smith with a better second moto result to Pablo Vial. They're both on 11 points. Vial with a 3.8, Smith with a 7.4, but it is that better second moto that gives it to him. Of course, the tiebreaker will be the better 3rd moto, but that is just the unofficial scores as we have them. And Caleb Hall is on 12 points. 2 6th place finishes puts him inside the top 5. Jackson and Leclerc would be behind that, with Rogers, Turley, and Castellaneta rounding out the top 10. Leclerc sitting on 18 points, so definitely an outside shot at a podium, 7 points back of Smith and Vial right now, but we'll see what happens going into main number 3.
Yeah, that's this track. I'm just watching Braden kind of ride around right now on this view. You can see a lot of the ruts kind of forming. Some of the big 180 bowl turns are like big ruts that they're able to kind of lean into, but I was watching coming under the after the first whoop section under the bridge. It's crazy how big of a rut there is there, and it kind of seems if you're not in the right line, you can't kind of set yourself up. But yeah, this 450 class seems to be spreading itself out. As far as the front, Braden Carter seems to have it on lock, but the big differences in 1st to 2nd motos from these guys might be really cool. That some of these guys that felt like they came in with a 10th or something in the 1st round. Ooh, Braden just hit a big 555. Do that again. 554 or something around the corner. It was huge. Tell Braden to do it again.
Braden, do it again. Let's see. He maybe listened because he's going back to us. What do we got here?
Watch
To
this.
this corner.
Triple.
In.
5.
Off the track. Now 4 there.
He went 5 there, 4 out into the corner.
Okay. Yeah, just doing some ridiculous stuff. Yeah, wheelies to
Yeah,
bounces.
no big deal.
Oh, finally crashes. Dude's ridiculous. Dude is
It's
ridiculous.
just, it's dumb.
It's
Look at that
dumb.
lap time, 58.8. Next fastest, 59.8 by Leclerc.
Whoa, crazy. All
Are you
right.
doing like a bird call?
$250 main event number 3 is coming to the gate. We're about to sort this thing out. And as a reminder, what we're looking at heading into this final one, Seth Shirley on 3 points, Braden Tharp on 9 points, Evan Holt on 13 points, John Heilman on 14 points, Cooper Hunt 15, Austin Schaefer on 16, Ryan Pinkerton on 17, Tyler Shoei on 19, Ben Kafa on 19, and Colin Allen on 22. Three-way tie for 10th with Alan Soderblom and Sund, I should say. But yeah, it kind of seems like this is Seth Shirley's to lose, obviously. What needs to happen for these guys to maybe have a miracle happen? Shirley crashes in the first turn?
Yeah, I mean it
'Cause
kind
it
of
did in
feels
the
like
last one.
it feels like the 450 class of what's going to happen. I mean, Braden Tharp has to win by 7 points, which is going to be like a first to fifth. So Tharp has to go out there and pray that Shirley has a big first corner crash, goes up, can't get it going. I mean, he only has 10 minutes plus a lap, so if he does go down early, that's going to be a way that Tharp can get it going. But honestly, if I'm Tharp, I'm going out getting the best result I can and just praying that I can get a podium on here. It's going to be a big ask to knock Shirley off that number 1 spot for the round.
No question about it, but Tharp is going to try, as will Evan Holt. Holt's 10 points back of Seth Shirley going into this one. Yeah, I mean, there's a chance. There's always a chance it would.
So you're saying
Telling me
there's
there's a chance.
I mean,
that
like,
these guys will
if
figure
his
it out,
power
but-
goes out, heart attack, like
Hey, whoa, hey, oh, wait.
something crazy's got to happen. I don't see Seth Shirley getting losing 7 points to Braden Tharp here.
What about you, Doc? You got anything against
7
Seth in this
positions.
Do I have anything? What?
one? Is Seth going to lose this one, or is this his for the taking?
It'd be hard for him to lose it. It's just he has so much speed that he could come from the back 5 times.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, he's done it too.
Exactly. So it'll be really, really hard for it to not happen unless something out of his control happens. Not even in game.
All right, Doc. Well, I'm going to ask you, are we running it back? Is the Design Lab co-hole shot going to be Colin Allen this time?
You know what? Just because I also like seeing my other buddy get the whole shot, I'll stay with Colin Allen.
All right. Haywood,
know-
you got one for me?
Tharp.
Tharp, I'm going Ryan Pinkerton because I think he hole shots from gate 19. Here we go, folks. The final main event of the evening for the 250 class to decide it for all the marbles. Who is going to get the all-important the Design Lab Co. hole shot, and who is going to win here tonight in Anaheim? Seth Shirley, 6 points up on Braden Tharp. Final main event of the 250s. Let's go!
I like the gate. I like the jump.
Far
Oh, it's not gonna
outside, it's KTM that gets there first. Who is it? Oh, big crash up the inside. I think Shirley was in it. Joey Arico with the Design Lab co-hole. Yeah.
Go in the lead
Arico
early.
leading this thing. Evan Holt with a good start, and Holtzy was up there in the overall, 3rd overall coming into this one. Alec Horn, another good start for him. Let's see if he can turn it into a good result.
Oh,
Exit
no.
stage left off the track. Got a little front end lock right there. Holtzy gets it in a second. Tharp with a good start. He is in 3rd. So where is the one dub as Holtzy's trying to go to the lead on Joey Arico?
Yeah, Tharp's basically main objective right now is get into the lead and get yourself as far ahead as you can and pray that Seth Shirley is not going to be there. Look at him working up that left side. He's going quad
Goes for
over,
the
quad
quad.
out, up the inside. He's going to make one
Oh.
pass, but not two. Joey Arico staying there. Tharp into 2nd, though. He's going to scrub, and he's going to follow right behind. Got to keep an eye on the top of the screen as it scrolls across and try to look for our leader throughout the
Contact.
night.
Can Tharp still get the double into
He
the lead?
pushed
He
him from
does, and he
behind.
pushed Arico out, who somehow pirouettes and lands it. But it's Tharp and Holtzy, who are 2nd and 3rd overall coming into this one, who lead the final main event of the night. So we're going to have to figure out where the heck is Seth Shirley, ooh, oh my gosh, Holtzy almost tossed it away, but he hangs on to it. And Heilman, who was 4th overall, is also up here. So all the hitters, Holtzy goes down at the end of the whoop zone. He tosses it away.
Seth Shirley 9th, so that means he's got to beat him by 7 positions, and so that means he can only gain that eighth spot and then hold there. So I don't know if Seth Shirley is going to stay 8th or worse, but I mean, if you're Braden Tharp, you got to stay out front and ride this and gain some confidence for the rest of the rounds, because he's already a race ahead of everyone. You got to try to gain whatever little bit of confidence you can if it's not points.
Well, Tharp said after the first main event that he can basically retire happy after this because he finally won a main event that was not a heat race or something.
It doesn't count.
It wasn't a heat race.
It doesn't count.
But regardless of which, I think he will be annoyed if he falls slightly short of this overall win. Look at that. Arico just let Seth Shirley go by, just swung wide and gets the 1 dub up into the 7 position. Like you said, A-Wood, this 7 spot is where he needs to be to win this main event.
Yeah, there it goes. I mean, the 8th spot, I think, was a tie, and now 7th spot is a win. So Seth Shirley is winning the overall as of now. And that's all he needs to do. He's going long, though, into the bales. Small mistake, but that's going to lose him about 5 or 6 spots. Let's see where he ends up as he returns back to traffic. He's still pushing. You can see the speed he has through the whoops from standing up. Still faster than most of the guys back here. But the mistakes are not going to be able to let him continue to move up. Look, he's got some pressure
that's Austin
from behind.
Austin Schaefer
Schaefer was up there.
For the win. Yeah.
Almost won last race.
Yep. This is going to be good to see if Seth Shirley can figure it out. Holtzy slipped all the way back to the 8th spot. Oh, we got some contact up here. Who's that down?
Ooh, Schaefer up the inside. Didn't kill him.
Arico and Holtzy going down. And Schaefer chose to not murder Seth
tried.
Shirley for the position. So 10th for Shirley right now. Is it still Tharp out front? It's tight, but it is Tharp ahead of Heilman and Allen with a good start this time, but not running his skins. So we've got some weird Colin Allen stuff going on right now. Battle for second is on. John Heilman and Colin Allen. Allen! What a save as he goes off the track. Oh my goodness, goes through the tough blocks. We got to stack up on the tunnel jump.
Goodness.
Who is down? A lot of riders just hit the deck. Seth Shirley gets by. Evan Holt is side by side with Shirley as they come into this corner. Shirley swings wide. Holt squares off the corner.
Underneath. Look at that.
Oh, Shirley shuts the door and makes that pass happen. We got a lot of guys who went down on the tunnel and they lost some positions. But Shirley back up into the top 10. Holtzy down the inside.
Oh my God.
Shirley reads it like a book and cuts back up underneath to hold the position.
There's no way Holtzy just sent it like that for no reason. That's crazy. Look at this. And he's going to get past. Maybe he rattled Shirley. He was trying to get it in his head. He's going to lose that 1 position. Now that's 2. Cuts underneath.
Whoa!
Almost gets cleaned out.
Arico
oh my God.
Tyler
Is that Chase Sexton cutting across, taking out some people. Going up the inside line. He's dead now.
I don't know what just happened with those guys, but yeah, Seth Shirley avoids another disaster right here. They're definitely making him work if he wants to try to win this overall here tonight. And Holtzy, who ran it in on Shirley, is now going to have to feel the wrath coming from behind as Shirley tries to catch back up. Oh, who's that crossing up right there? Nick Niles getting a little sideways.
Holtzy's got him.
Trying to make the pass down the inside into this corner. Holtzy up the inside. Niles squares it back off, and just like Shirley and Holtzy last lap, same time this time by, but Holtzy shoves him out and makes that pass stick. Here comes Seth Shirley into the mix trying to make the pass as well.
I like that line from Niles. He goes outside, inside. It looks like it would be better, but you can kind of hit that double 90-degree corner apex that better. Seth Shirley, though, going up the inside, just trading paint a little bit going into it. Doesn't even have to really rub on him, and he makes that pass. Now he's just kind of moving on up here. Look at this. Seth Shirley now into 10th place, chasing down Holtzy in 9th. If he holds on to this spot, he's not going to be the overall winner. Yeah. He is now 9 back. He needs 7 points. That's the difference right there for the win to tie with the 2 W's. So Shirley trying to move up. He's got the speed, but can he kind of use his racecraft to move through these guys that he's done to win championships before?
This is going to be a good one, folks. Strap in because we have got 4 minutes and a lap left in this race. And Seth Shirley, who's had everything go right for him so far tonight, is going to get 2 free spots. He's going to go up to the 8th position, which again, I think this is the tie spot or maybe 1 spot off of it. Let me think of this math real quick. 2 and 8.
Oh, he's down.
Oh, he's going to go down. As I say that. And let's see who goes by. So he's going to lose 1, 2, 3 positions, 4 positions. and Shirley goes all the way back to 12th, just like that. And do we have a battle for the lead going on, by the way? Let's go back up there. No, it's Colin Allen.
Colin Allen
who's leading
by 8
Lucas
seconds over Brune.
So Tharp, what the heck just happened to Braden Tharp?
We haven't been up here for a while.
We have
clearly.
not been up here for a while. So Tharp, who needs to win this thing, is going to go by Brune right here. No, almost gets into the back of him. But yeah, Colin Allen's leading this thing with a handful of laps to go. Can the 20 machine hold on? As Tharp tries to get back up into the mix, and we'll see where Seth Shirley gets to and how this affects the overalls. It is all over the place right now, and this is going to be really weird to figure this whole thing out.
So Tharp looks like he might have had one fall off because he was about 1 second behind, then 8 seconds to the leader. Look at him going quad, triple, single, but it looks like one big fall off, and that's if you don't have a 10-second gap, that's basically what you're going to get back to third place. Now he's got pressure from behind and in front of him trying to move forward. And he might have the overall right now from 2 to like 12th or wherever Shirley was, but he really needs to get himself up and back in that number 1 spot to be comfortable.
Yeah, the win will be huge here for Tharp, and trying to close this gap down to Lucas Brune. Doc, as much as you can tell us, what do you think's going through Tharp's mind right now as he tries to get up here? He needs this win, and he's going to go to second.
I mean, it's just get through people. Get through them. And
Good save.
just minimize mistakes.
Trying to minimize these mistakes in the whoops because he had a couple rough runs right there. Aiden Stevenson a little bit further back is going to try to close that gap down from third. So it's a 7-second lead for Colin Allen. 8 seconds actually is what it is now. And Allen coming into this one feeling a little bit froggier, trying to win this last race. So Tharp in the 2 spot, Stevenson third, Heilman fourth. Brune rounds out the top 5 with Schaefer right behind him. Caden Speck 7th, Cepeda 8th, and Shirley is now all the way up to 9th. So that is a, let's see, a Tharp on a 1-8-3, and Shirley now into 9th. So they are, no, actually Tharp has them by 1 point as it runs at the moment, and the tiebreaker is better final moto score. Remember that. It doesn't matter about wins that Shirley's had or whatever. Final moto score is what counts. So Shirley trying to get up into 8th. On Emmanuel Cepeda. Cepeda swings wide.
Gets it.
Shirley down the inside, almost jumps off the track, still going through the top blocks. Not pretty. And Cepeda, who looked like he was maybe trying to give it to him, is still right there. And here comes Holtzy, by the way, who's down the inside to move up on Cepeda. They kind of make contact. Cepeda falls out a little bit. Alec Horn back into the mix as well. They're going to try to go 3 wide into this corner. Holtzy down the inside. Block passes Cepeda, and Horn into the back of him
Horn's
and goes off the
done
track
that
again.
5 times.
Oh,
Horn just keeps not giving people enough room and just catching rear wheels and going down. He's done that multiple times tonight that we've seen on stream. I don't know how much else has happened, but Shirley's still ripping right here. He's in 8th. So right now, if there's a win, I think that's going to be a tie.
it's going to be
but
at the 7th now. He just got Caden Speck.
and that's going to give him, that would give him the overall if I'm not mistaken
Yeah,
here.
Tharp
But
needs to go win.
Tharp just needs to go win and pray that something else happens. But I think Seth Shirley is a little bit rattled the way this race has been going. He hasn't looked his smooth, normal self, and Tharp is going to
Tharp
go
down.
down off the bike, huck-a-buck through the whoops, and that's going to lose a position. Now he's 3rd, and now he's going to be probably now 4th, maybe 10, 11, 12 seconds off the lead. That's a bummer for Tharp right there.
Man, it was in his hands.
I mean, he had it. He had it early. He gave it up, and he was pushing to get it
Does that
back,
give
and just
Shirley
lost it again.
the win?
Yeah, so Shirley's sitting on 217 for 10 points, and Tharp on 184 is 13 points as it runs at the moment. And the white flag is
Who do we
waving.
have?
Tharp. Oh, I thought he was going down again.
Who do we have sitting 3rd?
At the moment, it looks like it's Heilman. No, where is Heilman on the track?
He's in
So
4th.
Heilman, yeah, he's in the 4th spot. So John
Heilman's
Heilman
ripping.
is sitting 3rd overall on 18 points.
Oh, wow.
He had 2nd overall for a bit. I peeked at the sheet when Shirley was back there. He's actually absolutely ripping. But Tharp, man, he's just got to go up front. That needs to be his goal.
He needs Shirley to crash really at this point. Because
Yeah.
if he gets Stevenson, it's still going to be just short as Shirley is 7th. Holtzy is 6 seconds back of Seth Shirley. So on this final lap, it looks like it is going to go the way of Seth Shirley if everything stays status quo. Meanwhile, out front, the weirdest night of his life for Colin Allen qualifies fastest, ends up going 13-9 on the heels of that, to then coming out and he's going to win 250 main event number 3. Colin Allen gets it done.
You can see the excitement right there.
That'll maybe, just maybe, squeak him in the top 5. It's going to be tight. Hayden Stevenson picks up second in this one, so Tharp will unofficially be scored 3rd. Heilman 4th. Schaefer 5th. Lucas Brun in 6th. And Seth Shirley down the inside of a lapped rider. Looks like he is going to make his way across the line in 7th. And with that, Seth Shirley wins the Anaheim 2 Triple Crown.
What an unreal race by him. I mean, bad start, a lot of problems, but he's able to bring it back in the end and get himself up there right where he needs to be. Still undefeated, 4 rounds in, and I mean, he's looking good. You got what, 4 or 5 more rounds left in this championship?
Oh, we gotta wait for cuts.
5, 6.
Gotta wait for cuts.
Gotta wait for cuts though, but
it's also
honestly,
not undefeated in Doc's book.
I would be surprised if. I guess I don't know if they're gonna do any outside like cuts or penalties or anything from that second moto from cutting the bridge, but I don't know if Race Factory would.
Well, there we go. Official results in Tharp 3rd and Shirley 7th means the one dub keeps it perfect in terms of wins at the end of the evening, as he has picked up his 4th consecutive win, broken wrist and all. Seth Shirley on top again in Anaheim. What a triple crown in the 250 class.
Tharp's first podium.
Yeah, there you go. Tharp getting
In
on the
overall?
box. Looks like John Heilman ends up 3rd overall. Austin Schaefer and Evan Holt round out our top 5 overall
Giving
here
you all
tonight.
the plugs.
Look at that, giving me the plug. SX on YouTube. Head over to
Or Twitch.
yeah, on Twitch. But you could also
Start
head
Your
over
Systems TV.
Head over to Start Your Systems TV on YouTube to check out the races replayed over there, and be sure to follow, subscribe, whatever it is. As soon as we get to that 1,000 sub mark, we can really go to the races at that point. But I think we're at 600 something now over there. So
Really?
Yeah.
Getting there.
Pretty good.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
I didn't know until you told me.
Brand new channel.
Some dumb comments, but
Definitely.
leave a comment, like, subscribe.
Dooley.
Don't say anything dumb though.
Whoever liked to comment and said, please stop saying dualies when guys throw whips together.
Fired.
Haywood Harmonious.
Doolies.
We're going to say it forever. It's a staple of the show, really, at this point.
Carnow brought it on right before our first Doolies of the night, and then someone in chat said that we really harmonized, so
We did.
I like that.
harmonize. All right, folks. 450 main event number 3, the final race of the night coming up. Let's take a look at what we got rolling into this final race. Carter sits on 2 points, Seabolt on 8, Jeremy Smith on 11, Pablo Vial on 11, Caleb Hall on 12. Well, like we said with Seth Shirley, kind of need a little bit of a miracle with Carter finishing outside of the top 6 for Jeremy Seabolt to still win this Triple Crown in Anaheim. But we almost saw it. We almost saw it with Seth Shirley, who we thought was more consistent perhaps in the 250 class. Can Braden Carter lose it?
I don't think so. I mean,
He won't lose the overall, that's for sure.
All right.
for me, Seth Shirley is more consistent, and no offense to any of the other guys, by the strength of the field. And for me, I think Braden Carter is more consistent by the strength of himself, even though he has the more stat class. I think Braden Carter top 6 easily, and that would need whoever's second, Seabolt, to win this. And I honestly don't really see it. I think there's a little too much parity between. I mean, we've seen bad races from Leclerc, Seabolt, and Eaglin has been terrible this round so far, which won't kill him too much. But I mean, I don't think Carter loses by 6 positions to any of those guys tonight.
All right, fair enough. Doc, do you agree?
Yeah, I'm pretty much on the same way. I don't think he can lose the overall. He might be able to lose the last moto, but I don't see him losing the overall.
All right, so we think Braden Carter is about to win the Anaheim 2 Triple Crown. He would be the first repeat winner of 2024. I think I have that right. Yeah, because he won. And Vial won the second round. Leclerc won the third. A-Wood.
Covered.
Whoops.
Oh,
Pressed the wrong button. Yeah, so you are picking Jacob Hubbard for the Design Lab Co. Whole Shot
I've
award.
been swooped twice.
Did not get swooped this time. I'll let you pick first. So, Doc, over to you.
Let's see. Like, I want to see Tanner Rogers get it. I mean, I called it, and then he got the next moto.
All right.
But we'll see.
Let's see if he steers you in the right direction in main event number 3. Let's see. I will say those are good
He
picks.
ain't even picking his own team.
Those are good picks, guys.
Our team sucks.
Like them a lot. I'm gonna go with.
I can't believe I picked T-Lane.
I'm gonna go with Frank Jackson.
You yell at me for waiting.
Pick with Frank Jackson. Yeah, I'll yell at you. I run the show. What do you want?
Oh, look at that line.
Oh, that was so sick. Sorry, we got distracted. He jumped into the rut, tried to rip and double across start straight. It is your show. You can do whatever you want. Someone random is going to get the whole shot.
You think?
Kind of like Moto 3. Joey Arico is mad that no one picked him, but
Oh, Joey.
it wasn't.
Joey.
It just wasn't going to happen.
Oh, Joey. All right, here we go, folks. It's time
Nick
for
Thomas
main event
doing
number
his
3.
whole shot.
Anaheim 2. Who's going to get the whole shot? Triple Crown. Let's decide a winner. Oh, Rogers inched to the gate and got a terrible jump. Look at
he
Frank
can
Jackson
cut in.
from the middle.
Fuck.
Does he get there and hold the inside line? Frank Jackson picks up the Design Lab Co. whole shot. Let's go, boys. Jackson out front. Luke Sullivan, Braden Castellaneta, Nick Thomas-Sunis with a good start. Alexis Leclerc's up there. I see Hubbard mid-ish pack. I'm trying to see where Carter is. I saw the shining gear that he chose for this main event, but I did not see it in the early stages of this one. So Jackson leads the field through, and I've never been so vindicated in my life.
That's so crazy. That's unreal.
You'd love to see out of Frank.
Congrats to Frank Jackson for the whole shot. Look at him now leading the field, going around. How long can he last? Question I get all the time. Luke Sullivan, second place, though, coming in double, triple. Look at him scrubbing in front of these guys. And now over the finish line for the first time. Let's see what he can do. Braden Castellaneta, he's trying to move. Nick Thomas-Sunis as well. He's got a train right behind him. Leclerc, though, fifth in that train, and we'll see what happens there.
Sounds like Braden Carter P16 on the opening lap as everyone funnels through. Pretty clean opening lap as well. We're still in a pretty good freight train at the front of this field as everyone jockeys for those early positions. Sullivan, a little awkward on the quad.
Oh,
These
my
guys
goodness.
continue to do
That's
that,
so
and it
clean.
looks weird every single time. But Sullivan trying to hold on to this 2 spot as he has got Braden Castellaneta closing that gap down. Frank Jackson looks comfortable out front. Sullivan all over the place, and Castellaneta wasn't sure what was going on up there, so he backed out of the challenge, and the battle continues.
Fuck. Never mind. Sorry. Luke Sullivan going at it. Look at that big quad out. I love the 450 class because they have these bigger rhythms. There's 2 quads in this rhythm section and 1 quad out at the other rhythm section that kind of upsets people. So it's fun to see kind of who hits it cleanly, who OJs, and what kind of happens. So a lot of opportunities for mistakes as these guys are pushing for faster lap times. But Frank Jackson up front kind of holding the same gap, not really pulling away, but we really don't know exactly what's happening deep in the field. Look at that scrub
Jackson
too
up
hard
the
over the
track.
turning double.
Let's see, going to the lead or trying to is Luke Sullivan. Jackson back down the inside, not quite close enough. We got a pass going on for third as Thomas-Sunis jumped off the track. Change for the lead though. Luke Sullivan leads on the number 11 machine. I was just about to say as they ran, oh, Jackson down, and that's going to allow Castellaneta through into second. Jackson looks like he picked it up in fourth behind Thomas-Sunis. Jackson in the lead though, had actually been sitting in a position to win the overall. It's constantly changing as Jackson was sitting on 16 points. Now it looks like Jeremy Smith is sitting on 16 points as he has moved up into the top 5. We got guys side by side as Jackson and Thomas-Sunis are battling it out for the 3 spot. And we'll go back and find Carter in a minute, but these battles for the lead are still going with Sullivan and Castellaneta.
Yeah, these guys up front, they're just pushing it. These guys have had kind of back and forth main events so far here through the first 2 races, and they're just trying to get their best finish. Some of these guys really...
Oh my goodness.
God, he's
Oh,
dead.
there it is.
Sullivan down.
Sullivan
and Castellaneta
down.
hits
Oh,
him and he
oh,
goes
down.
down. Jackson
Jackson.
almost goes down.
Thomas-Sunis
And
to the
Thomas-Sunis is
lead.
into the race lead. Nicky T out front in Anaheim, and the crowd rejoices. It's like Aaron Plessinger just took over the lead. Jackson now back into second. Jeremy Smith is up into third and sitting in a really good spot suddenly to maybe steal this overall win, especially with Braden Carter, I think, still having a few more issues. It seems like he maybe slipped backwards. Yes, Carter is dead last right now. He's 22nd place on the track. I'm not sure what happened to the one machine. Is he out of this one? Let's go back and try to find him. He's still circulating, but he's 5 seconds out of this. Not sure what happened to him.
That's
ran a
3 fall-offs.
Or do you think he missed a timing gate?
I don't think so. I think that's got to be 3 fall-offs, trying to move through the pack, get up, maybe get frustrated, maybe a double fall-off somewhere in there.
Jackson down. Jackson down out of second. Thomas Sunis leads. Jeremy Smith in second place right now, sitting on 7.42 for 13 points, is in the overall position as it runs. Unbelievable turn of events, and Thomas Sunis is just trying to get away with the lead.
See, I saw Jeremy Smith in fourth.
He
goes down. So Jeremy Smith is going to go to lead there as he triples out of the whoops. He's got Frank Jackson right behind him, but now he's in the lead, pulling forward, going through this rhythm section. I really didn't think he was going to have it. I know they were tied in points last time I checked the live scoring, but Braden Carter was back in 13th, and I was like, there's no way he ends up there. But now with him back in 22nd and Jeremy Smith moving from fourth to first, I think there's a real possibility that Jeremy Smith is able to take this one home if he keeps riding smooth. That Caleb Hall actually is behind him, not Jackson. Teammates, I think, and he is ripping. He looks a little bit faster, but if Smith can hold on, not to first, but if he can stay in the top 3, I think that would be good for him.
Caleb Hall trying to pull up alongside. They are really actually quite far ahead of Carter in terms of an overall standpoint. Jeremy Smith has 10 points on him as it runs. Short and down, though, goes Jeremy Smith as he falls off the bike. And it's going to be Caleb Hall taking over the lead. Luke Sullivan back to second. Thomas Sunis third. Rogers fourth. Eaglin fifth. Siebold sixth. Jeremy Smith picks it up in seventh, and he goes from the win to maybe out of the podium positions with how much this is shuffling around. Caleb Hall, by the way, I think just took over the overall lead as well. I'm trying to figure this out. Caleb Hall on 6.61 is now on 13 points and in a position to win the overall. Luke Sullivan right on his heels, though. Oh my goodness, I don't know what's going to happen next.
Yeah, I see that too. I think Caleb Hall, he moves into the lead. Jeremy Smith, Siebold, Braden Carter are kind of the guys chasing, so those are going to be the ones to watch for. As you see it scrolling across the top of your screen, Caleb Hall right now in first. He can't do much more that he's been doing. Siebold now down to 6th, Smith down to 7th, and we're going to have to look across the top of the screen to see where Braden Carter comes across. But as of right now, Caleb Hall holds the overall for this Triple Crown race, and he's got a 6.61. What a great showing from him. He's been he's been consistent, but just off the pace. Can he hold it on? We're 7 minutes through this main event now. 18. Can he go another 5 minutes plus 1?
Carter's up to 18th, as Doc just mentioned right there, so that pulls him to within 7 points of the overall win with Hall out front. Here comes Luke Sullivan quadding down the inside, trying to take the lead back. He cases it, but gets it done anyway. Sullivan back to the lead on the 11.
So Carter has to get 11th if Hall wins, and that's a tie with Hall winning the tiebreaker. So Hall losing the spot to Sullivan, that's not going to help him, though. Sullivan going wide outside, Hall getting the inside line up that rut, and he absolutely rails it over the tunnel jump, and now he's got a nice little gap into the lead there. And look at these two. They're starting to sprint away. Caleb Hall, I would honestly go with a first or second. You don't need to hit that big quad. Watch those big lines. Your name's not Bobby. You can't be doing those every single lap.
Wow, Sullivan is right on Hall. We've got a question in chat on how the points work, and basically it is the lowest score on combined numbers on the night. So, for example, Caleb Hall has a 6th place, a 6th place, and a 1st place finish as it runs. He finished 6th in the first 2 main events. So that would be 13 points combined. A 6 plus 6 plus 1 for 13 points. Jeremy Siebold 5th
sneaky
in the first main, 3rd in the second, 6th right now on 14 points. So that would be 5 plus 3 plus 6 to equal 14. And again, the lowest score wins the overall and the main event, technically speaking, for the evening. So we're trying to see where Carter gets to. It looks like he was up to 14th last time I saw him on the leaderboard. Doc, you got an update?
Yeah, 13th.
13th.
But let's hop on board and go see what he's looking like back there as he's having to battle through the pack.
But we got to change for the lead, maybe coming again. Sullivan down the inside trying to get by Caleb Hall, who is on the fringe of maybe trying to win this thing. And Sullivan gets back by into the lead. It's the battle that continues to just never end. Where is the one? Here he is, Carter, now up to 13th, but he's got to get through a couple district designs. Guy now goes to 12th because I think that was Siebold hopping off the track right there, or maybe Eagland. Now up to 12th for Carter. It's getting closer. 1 point in it. 13 for Caleb Hall, 14 for Jeremy Siebold, 14 for Braden Carter. As it runs, Carter is diving through the field as desperately as he possibly can. He's only got 2.5 minutes left to figure it out, though, before this race is over.
Yeah, looking at our live points, Caleb Hall holds the win right now. Siebold in second, but he's in sixth right now. There's only so much he can go up. And Braden Carter, though, as you see, he's got 4 riders right in front of him. He moved up from 20th to 12th within a lap, and he's got 4 riders in off the same jump, basically, that he's going on. If he can pass 1 or 2 of these guys, he's going to be the sole leader of the first place overall. And there's one pass right there. Goes front end low, able to wheelie across the tabletop. That's absolutely crazy that he can do that. One more pass, I think, puts him into the lead. Tied for the overall right now. And Braden Carter has 3 more riders right there.
Behind him. So closing up behind him, by the way, is Trevor Burns. He's got Tyler Lang right in front of him, and Lang slides out. That should be enough for the position. But keep an eye on Trevor Burns because we saw him earlier tonight really throwing caution to the wind, and he's certainly fast enough to get up there. Leclerc has passed Jeremy Smith for 4th, pushing Smith another point back as he is now on 15 points. Carter now sits on 12 points and is in a spot to win the overall as he gets up into the top 10. 1-1-10 versus a 6-6-1 and a 5-3-7 is the podium as it stands right now. This is ridiculous.
That's a crazy podium.
Yeah, it's crazy. I didn't expect Carter to be this far back, but as being dead last, 22nd place, there's
Jackson.
one more spot right there. He was so far back when I saw him in 20th and Hall leading. I really thought it was going to be difficult, but man, he passed 7 guys in 1 lap. About 2 laps ago, there's another spot. I think Nick Tomasunis down. He's probably into 10th or 11th place right there.
Ooh, Turley
there's
down
another spot. Turley down in the whoops. He's going to get hung up. He's going to lose a spot, gain a spot.
Yeah, that's Burns that went
stays
by
even.
him. Jackson stays behind him. So Carter gained a spot and lost a spot. Like you said, he's now 8th. He's got to try to pass Trevor Burns, which is never an easy task to do. Burnsy makes you work for it on the 40.
He didn't have to pass him, correct?
I don't think so. Well, Burns made a mistake,
but he's
so
not going to have to try
point anyway.
Exactly.
As Jackson jumps by Burns as well. So let's see where everyone's at here in the closing stages of this. Caleb Hall, with 2 to go, is leading over Tanner Rogers. Alexis Leclerc's made it up to 3rd. Luke Sullivan crashed and has fallen back to 4th. Jeremy Smith is now 5th. Siebold in the 6th spot, and Carter has now made it all the way up to 7th around Jackson. And boy, oh boy, he really worked for this one to get the overall win if it stays status quo. He's sitting on 9 points versus 13 for Hall, 14 for Siebold, and 16 for Jeremy Smith as this race has flipped upside down in the closing stages.
Braden Carter has a 58.7. It's just kind of ridiculous. I think that's faster than any of the qualifying times. I think they were all at 1 minute, 1 minute 0.5, and to be dropping 2 seconds late into the 3rd main event is just kind of absolutely ridiculous. Caleb Hall doing all he can do, staying in the lead, and after a 6-6-1, if he stays this way, that's a great finish. Tanner Rogers applying pressure, but it just sucks when you're kind of in that spot. You've had 2 pretty good, 6th place finishes, and then you go out and win, but man, you got this guy behind you that is just able to rattle off positions through the pack. Caleb Hall, though, if he can hold on to this,
Rogers,
that would be great, but he goes down.
Hall goes down. So Rogers to the lead, Leclerc to 2nd. Caleb Hall picks it up behind Sullivan in 4th, and it just changes the entire complexion of the podium again, I think, as well, as we come down to the closing stages of this one. Rogers applied the pressure. It looked like he was going to maybe try to make a pass anyway. In the end, he is going to stand atop the podium in main event number 3 of the Triple Crown. Tanner Rogers makes it a Phil Ski and Snowboard sweep of the main events in the 450 class as he wins main 3. Leclerc 2nd, Sullivan 3rd, Caleb Hall 4th, Jeremy Smith rounds out the top 5 over Seabolt by a nose, and Braden Carter comes from way back 22nd place to 7th as he clinches the Triple Crown in Anaheim.
That's crazy. If it wasn't a Triple Crown, I mean,
What's
it might have been a little bit different. You see 3 main events, a 117, and I mean, maybe he could win the next 2 rounds. But man, if he gets a 7th place eventually, that might, not that it's going to leave a door open because he's built such an early lead in this championship, but it just shows you guys that, you know, they're not as consistent as they may seem throughout the course of 17 rounds. There are opportunities for blow-ups, and Triple Crowns kind of show that.
So, excuse me, unofficially, Carter takes the win tonight, overall at least, with a 117 to sit on 9 points. Jeremy Seabolt goes 5-3-6 to finish 2nd overall on 14. And Caleb Hall and Jeremy Smith tie on 16 points, 6-6-4 to 7-4-5. We'll wait for penalties because there was 1 second between, 1.9 seconds between JS4 and Caleb Hall to get on the box. Tanner Rogers, with his win in the final race, goes 13-5-1 to end up 5th overall. And cuts come in, and by a nose, Caleb Hall remains 4th to stand atop the podium in the 450 class. He will be 3rd overall. Jeremy Seabolt, Braden Carter, as Carter picks up the win here in Anaheim.
Now let's not forget about Tanner Rogers. It's really good to see him up there. He doesn't always have the consistency to make it happen, but it's great to see him up there.
I'll tell you what, Alexis Leclerc will lament what could have been because he was up front in main 1, somehow crashed his way back to 16th, and then follows it up with a 2-2 after that, and could have easily gone, 3-4-2-2 and won the overall tonight?
Yeah, I mean, that's just that little bit of inconsistency. Getting when you get rattled early on, I mean, you're going in for first moto, you want to put in the great finish, and he really just let it kind of get to him. There's no other way that happens except for kind of riding above your head, letting mistakes come to you instead of playing it smart and smooth. It's not always a great start that gets you out front early for the 2nd place finish, but man, Leclerc feels like he left one on the table here.
Yeah, no question about it. Well, we'll jump back in studio with you guys now after this is all said and done. Doc, just slide over just a slight bit. Yeah, no, you're good. There, right there. Perfect.
Alrighty.
Kellen Brower, Andrew Wood, Doc Smith in studio with you guys to wrap up the main events here from Anaheim. Man, what a fun night of racing. I know we had similar winners in Seth Shirley and Braden Carter, Andrew, but man, it is exciting to figure this out on the fly because these Triple Crowns always provide.
Yeah, and I mean, it seems like it's the same guys that win every weekend, but for me, it's the way that they get there. They're always battling through adversity, through bad starts, and these Triple Crowns just add an extra layer. You got 3 times they have to do that, and I mean, I don't know. I do like when people kind of dominate series. I like Villapoto. I like Stu, MC. I like these guys that kind of go out, and it's seeing how they get to winning every single race if they do. And if it's a perfect season from Seth, if he can continue this, or if Braden Carter dominates, I think it's seeing how they get there. That's the fun part.
Yeah, well, Doc, for you, we see the champs back up on top here tonight in Anaheim and kind of establishing themselves as the guys in the series at this point as we now leave California heading to Detroit next week. At this point, it's kind of their championships to lose already. I know it's a shorter series for Seth, so it's pretty obvious at that point because we're halfway there. But for them, they've got to be feeling so good about where they're at.
Oh yeah, and I mean, Seth has another week off, so yeah, it'll be even better for him. So he'll have that week off, and then be able to let his arm heal up a little bit, maybe start feeling better on his dirt bike again. So. And then, of course, Carter, and then they're just running on through, and it just keep that momentum pushing all the way through it.
Yeah, definitely. Carter now sitting, I believe it's probably over the 20s ahead in points because, I should say, Colby Eagland had a rough night at the races. 14th overall for Colby Eagland. Official results in Carter from Seabolt, Hall, Smith, Rogers inside the top 5, Leclerc, Vial, Sullivan, Jackson, and Tyler Lang rounding out the top 10. Well, fun Triple Crown. Great to have you 3 in studio with us. So much fun to kind of call the race and bounce the ideas off of each other. Yeah, Doc, you ready to race this track this weekend?
Dude, I'm stoked. It should be a fun race. And Yeah, we'll see how the weekend goes.
Looks a little bit chaotic.
It
after
looks
what
scary
we're seeing tonight, man.
I don't know if I'm down.
down.
The two big rhythms are.
I think that they're not going to be as large as you think.
Yeah, they'll probably tame them down a little bit.
I
Or
mean,
at
I'm a
least the
puss
jumps.
anyways, so I'm not going to
Yeah.
hit some of the rhythms anyways.
I don't think we're going
No
over
triple
table
ends.
quad,
Yeah. Oh yeah. You don't have to hit any of
So-
the quads.
but I don't think the
Yeah,
450
we'll
guys
see.
are doing that anyway. Maybe Jet Lawrence, but
Yeah, we'll see what we hit. I
Yeah.
mean, it should be most everything, but
Yeah.
maybe not the quads like what they're hitting in the game.
yeah, definitely. Andrew, thanks for joining us again this week. Really fun race to call, and last California round of the year for us. So a little bit of tear skip for us. But hey, more excitement. We get to see the East Boys next week in the 250 East division.
Yeah. New guys, new numbers. Going to be a little. Take me, one round to learn, but it's going to be fun. I'm excited for some new stuff because, man, Seth ain't making it very, very easy for the rest of the guys. So we'll see who can show up if it's going to be stacked just like real life.
Absolutely. All right, guys, that's going to do it for us here tonight on Start Your Systems. Andrew Wood, Doc Smith, and Kellen Brower in the studio, bringing you guys the action from Anaheim 2. The Triple Crown of MX Simulator is done and dusted. Detroit next week kicks off 250 East. We hope you guys enjoyed watching the show, and we hope you enjoy watching the show this weekend for Monster Energy AMA Supercross as well. Be sure to head over and check out Doc Smith 464 on Instagram and see what he's got going this weekend. And if you see him in the pits this weekend as well, be sure to say hi to him. Again, thanks guys for joining us, and we'll see you next week in Detroit.